discussed he was meeting with Dimitri Simes, who's with the Center for National Interest. This is on page 112. This is back in March.
The following is a special sports broadcast presentation of Talk Radio WRNR Martinsburg. Play ball! It's time for the fun and excitement of West Virginia high school baseball. Today's game is being brought to you by
Miller Honda, Cox Holiday Professionals CPAs, Brown Funeral Homes, Miller's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, The Marius Group and Ameriprise Financial, WVU Medicine Berkeley and Jefferson Medical Centers, Parsons Ford, Bechtel Jewelers, WH Miller Systems, D&N Auto, The Mortgage Center, the Hagerstown Suns, Haas's Steak and Sea, Bears Repair, The Final Score, and Atlantic Security.
And now for the pregame show. Let's go out to the field and join our Talk Radio WRNR broadcast team.
4, 3, 2, 1.
And a very pleasant good afternoon, everyone, and welcome into Carolina Forest High School just outside Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, where today we'll put the finishing touches on our coverage of the Mingo Bay Classic as we bring you the Jefferson Cougars against the host Carolina Forest Panthers. For Talk Radio, WRNR and TV10, I'm Matt Miller along with Gary Geffert and Matt Crawford. Caleb Valero is our studio engineer. Guys, a matchup here today between a pair of teams that are looking to turn around a tough stretch. Gary Carolina Forest comes in 10-13 on the season, but has dropped 4 of their last 5, going 1-2 so far in this tournament. Meanwhile, Jefferson comes in at 15-5, but they also have gone just 1-2 here at the Mingo Bay Classic, and they've dropped 4 out of their last 6.
They have, and Jefferson has had a lot of trouble catching the baseball and hitting the baseball. 2 aspects. They have given up a slew of earned runs. They've given, what do I have here? 17 runs they've given up in the 3 games, and only 7 of them are earned. And then you look at, they came in here hitting 317 as a team. They're now hitting just only hit 263 during this tournament. So that they're having some difficulties.
So no doubt, this more than likely being their final game in the tournament, as the weather forecast for tomorrow certainly does not look good. Means this is a game that Jefferson and head coach John Lowery Sr. and his staff would, I'm sure, like to see the team come out and with focus and purpose get a win to go home with.
Well, yeah, and the other thing I think they're looking for is that Tyler Tennant's going to start again. He had a real rough outing 2 days ago up in Socastee. Not all his fault. I mean, the first he threw 2 ground balls to start the game and didn't get an out, and they just weren't able to recover from that. So they're hoping that he comes out, gives good rating, and restores his confidence and has him looking good as they go back home and in a couple weeks start the sectionals.
Well, meanwhile, for Carolina Forest, I think, Gary, a lot of what you just said about Jefferson holds true for the Panthers as well, as they've been outscored so far in this tournament 19-13. And you look up the runs that they've allowed, including 13 in a 13-1 loss against May River yesterday. This is a team that needs to hopefully build some confidence as well, as they have their playoffs coming up next week.
Yeah, their coach is not happy at all with the way they've been playing baseball. I asked him about the team, and he says, we're just not playing well. So he's looking to turn that around here against Jefferson and start moving, because their sectional start next week, I think.
Yeah, their playoffs will begin next week here in South Carolina for our local teams back at home. Still 2 weeks left in the regular season when we return, before getting into sectional play as we get into the month of May. Well, this is the pregame show. It's brought to you by W. Harley Miller Systems. They provide custom integration services for home and office automation, home theater, networking, audio-video distribution, and more. Find them online at WHMsystems.com or phone 304-350-1931. We'll hear from Jefferson head coach John Lowery Sr. when we return. This is West Virginia High School Baseball on Talk Radio, WRNR, and TV10.
When you're hurting, we're here. When things are confusing, we're here. When you need answers, we're here. Brown Funeral Home. We've been caring for families like yours for generations, since 1880. Whether you want to plan ahead or you need us now. Our families are precious to us, and so are yours. Brown Funeral Home in Martinsburg, Inwood, and Charlestown Ranson. We're here when you need us.
If you hang the WVU Medicine sign, certainly has helped take us to another level.
He literally saved my life. It's just mind-boggling to me that he was able to do what he did.
We're able to affect much more of a difference for our patients with these resources.
Having people treated locally enhances their overall care.
They treat you great, and they're down to earth in the West Virginia way that all West Virginians treat each other.
Welcome back into the pregame show, brought to you by W. Harley Miller Systems. We're at Carolina Forest High School just outside Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, where today we wrap up the Mingo Bay Classic with Jefferson taking on Carolina Forest. Time now to hear from Cougar longtime head coach John Lowery Sr. coming off of a tough loss yesterday, a 5-2 decision against Rock Hill after dropping their opener at Socastee 7-3 on Monday. Sandwiched in between was a 15-5 win against Lakewood, so the Cougars 1-2 here in this tournament. We started our conversation with Coach Lowery about what he has seen so far here at the beach.
Well, we continue to shoot ourselves in the foot. We 4 outs on the bases yesterday. We did strike out 5 times looking, and those things just kill us. And I thought the team we played yesterday was really a smart baseball team. They ran pickoff plays. They picked us off second. Probably my fault. Maybe I could have communicated with our base runner a little better, but just a number of things. I mean, their pitcher wasn't anything over the top in terms of how he threw, but he didn't. He threw strikes, threw it across the plate, held runners on base, balls hit, they made the plays. It's some of the things that we, aren't doing as consistently as we need to, and they show up. I mean, it's a 3-2 game going into the top of the 7th. In the bottom of the 6th, we get picked off second. Again, I'll take the responsibility for that. We get a base hit there, the score's tied. Very first play of the game, we get a ground ball, we throw it in the dirt to first. That run comes around. It's 2-2 maybe, if that. You go back to the game against Socastee. We gave them 5 runs with 2 outs in the first inning. From that point on, we win the game 3-2. We got to learn some way the value of each of those plays within the flow of the game, and we're struggling with that right now. We really are. And but with all that being said, I think it's good that those kind of things were exposed, and that gives us the opportunity to get better. And if we have the mindset that we need, and resolve that we hope to have, we can understand how that can impact the game. And that's just basically what it comes down to. And I'm sure that there are other schools that, have suffered through similar stretches, but when you win in about 10 runs and you make mistakes like that, they don't show up. But when you're playing good teams and you make mistakes like that, they show up. And that's the value of being involved in a tournament. We're in the A division down here. We're playing good teams, and that's what we hope to be able to take back home with us and improve from.
Coach, thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, there you hear from John Lowery Sr., his thoughts heading into this one, and clearly you can hear the frustration in that conversation with just the way this team is playing, and hoping that they can begin to turn things around. Hey, before this stretch of 10 games where they've, 6 games where they've won 2 and lost 4. They've lost 4 of their last 6. Let me get it out that way. Prior to that, they had won 9 straight games. So this is a team that certainly knows how to go out and get the job done, just haven't been doing it as of late.
And they've got good pitching, and they've got guys who are hitting the baseball. But they haven't done it down here, and they're not. And they're leaving people on. I mean, we were talking earlier about Cullen Horowitz. He's had he's got 2 home runs down here, and one of them was a 2-run homer, and drove in. One was either a single home run, a solo home run, drove in another, but he got 2 RBIs in that game. But that's 4 runs out of what they've scored in this tournament, and most of the runs they scored in the 1 blowout.
Yeah, you look at Horowitz's overall numbers. He leads this team, leads the area with 6 home runs, but 16 runs batted in. You would expect with power numbers like that, perhaps a few more RBI, but that just goes to show you that many times when he's been at the plate, maybe hasn't had those guys on base ahead of him. The Cougars certainly hoping that they can get that offense going here today like they did on day 2 of this tournament. You look at 20 runs that they scored, 15 came in the win against Lakewood, but only 3 in a loss against Stocasty and only 2 yesterday in a loss against Rock Hill. We'll see if the Cougars can get the offense going here today. We need to take a timeout and then come back. We'll look at today's starting lineups as we inch ever closer to today's opening pitch. The pregame show brought to you by W. Harley Miller Systems. They provide custom integration services for home and office automation, home theater networking, audio video distribution, and more. Give them a call at 304-350-1931, online at WHMsystems.com. This is West Virginia High School Baseball on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10.
Life can get in the way these days. We all know that. Work commitments, social commitments, volunteer commitments, family commitments. You put your heart into all of it. You've got enough to worry about already. Your roof shouldn't be one of those things. Everything should just work. But when your roof is in need of an upgrade, you shouldn't have to worry about that either. Modern Renovations, your 4-state roofing solution. Reminding you that home is where the heart really is.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%. Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
Now, time for us to take a look at today's starting lineups, a service of D&N Auto Specialist, where honesty is their best policy. Get it fixed right the first time at D&N Auto, family owned and operated since 1974. They specialize in exhaust alignments and tires. Set up an appointment by calling 304-267-4078. Now, the Jefferson Cougars will be the visiting team, taking on the homestanding Carolina Forest Panthers. So we'll start with the Cougars, who at 15-5 have dropped 4 of their last 6 games. Looking to get back in the win column today. They're led by head coach John Lowery Sr. in his 47th year, assisted by Ken Cross, J.P. Jones, Mark Rotruck, and Chuck Hamilton. For Jefferson in the leadoff spot, it's the left fielder Hayden Stang. He'll be followed by starting pitcher Taylor Tennant. Batting third, center fielder Stevie Lee. In the cleanup spot, today's catcher Colson Titus. The number 5 hitter at third base is Cullen Horowitz. Batting sixth, shortstop Corey Daly. The number 7 hitter is first baseman Zach Rose. Batting 8th, playing right field, is Mason Lance. And the number 9 hitter is second baseman Ryan Ollinger. So that's Stang, Tennant, and Lee, followed by Titus, Horowitz, and Daly, Rose, Lance, and Ollinger, rounding out the lineup for Jefferson, as the Cougars will go without a designated hitter today. Now we turn our attention to Carolina Forest. The Panthers, the home team, 10 wins, 13 losses on the season. They're trying to get back in the win column, having dropped 4 of their last 5. They're under the direction of head coach Joey Worley. He's assisted by Tom Pasco and Carl Papacina. In the leadoff spot for the Panthers will be second baseman Nolan Edwards. He's followed by the shortstop Derek Rogers. Batting third, first baseman Chase Hughes. The number 4 hitter, the cleanup spot, the designated hitter Josh Douglas. Batting in the true DH role for today's starter Kyle Wendland. The number 5 hitter in right field is Luke Janik. Batting sixth and doing the catching, J.T. Rice. The number 7 hitter over in left field is Luke's twin brother, Adam Janik. Batting eighth at third base, Peter Maggio. And the number 9 hitter is the center fielder, Tyler Davis. So it's Edwards, Rogers, and Hughes, followed by Douglas, Janik, and Rice. Janik, Maggio, and Davis round out the batting order with Wendland on the hill. Today's starting lineup's a service of D&N Auto Specialist, where honesty is their best policy. Hey, they specialize in exhaust alignments and tires. Set up an appointment by phoning 304-267-4078. Well, as the head coaches meet with the umpires and exchange lineup cards and go over the ground rules here at Carolina Forest, we'll take our final regular timeout in our pregame show, and then we'll come back with today's opening pitch and all the play-by-play of West Virginia high school baseball on Talk Radio, WRNR, and TV 10.
Welcome to La Bella Vita, named for my Grandma Vita. Our mountaintop getaway honors her legacy while complementing the home's spectacular views. This recently renovated property boasts a breathtaking landscape of Deep Creek Lake while providing great open interior spaces for a sensational vacation. You'll immediately notice the great room allows for entertaining, dining, and relaxing after long days on the lake or skiing on the slopes of Wisp. Your family and friends will enjoy relaxing in all the open spaces. The home features 6 bedrooms, including 4 that are private suites. And each of the 4 levels of this home feature amazing visibility as far as the eye can see. Like our family, we hope you enjoy making memories here on the mountain. We love sharing the spacious, warm, and inviting home that overlooks the lake. Cheers to the beautiful life, La Bella Vita.
Ron Hawker here. You have no idea what Johnny's goes through to bring you the best seafood around. We have snow crab clusters, shrimp, crab meat, fish, all the best seafood you want at Johnny's. It's a tough job out here, but our customers are worth it. Johnny's with 2 great locations, 1456 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, and Route 11 South in Chambersburg.
We welcome you back into Carolina Forest High School along with Gary Gefford and Matt Crawford. I'm Matt Miller. Caleb Falero is our studio engineer. Our final day here at the Mingo Bay Classic Baseball Tournament just outside of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Guys, let's take a look at what else has been going on with our Eastern Panhandle teams as we await the opening pitch in this one. The coaches just meeting with the umpires, the teams going back to their respective dugouts, and we are just about ready to go. Let's start with games yesterday as we had the call on Hedgesville at St. James. St. James came away with a victory in that one by a 6-3 final, topping Chase DeLauder and the Eagles, who are now 0-3 here at the tournament and 15-6 overall. What was your take coming out of that game?
Well, I was disappointed in Hedgesville. I did not think they played particularly good baseball. They didn't seem aggressive, and the really distressing thing, particularly from Coach Grove's point of view, was twice they had bases loaded in the first inning and in the 5th or 6th inning, second and third, each time with nobody out, and couldn't get anybody in. And part of it was the following hitter was impatient, swung at a bad pitch, and part of it you got to give credit to their pitcher Salek, who got the outs, but still a little bit of patience. And that's a team that scores runs, and you don't score runs when you leave runners on base like that.
Yeah, I thought Salek was good, but not anything that Hedgesville should have had issues with. A guy that was committed to Coastal Carolina is just a sophomore, so obviously the talent is going to be there, and the talent was there, but I didn't think it was anything that Hedgesville shouldn't have been able to do very well at the plate against. Brady Weaver, a great day. He had 2 doubles, but other than that, there really wasn't a whole lot else at the plate that Hedgesville needed to write home about. And Chase DeLauder was inconsistent in the first couple innings, settled down in the middle innings, but then again was a little erratic, and the defense was a little erratic behind him when it got into the later innings.
Yeah, that's what I was just said. they had the same problem I think that Jefferson's had with not particularly good defense down here.
Hedgesville today will be taking on University. Yes, that University out of the Morgantown, West Virginia area. That game is at Socastee, and it's this afternoon at 3:45. Martinsburg was the only area team to get a win yesterday. They were pretty impressive in a 15-0 victory against a Jordan Elbridge team that was on the field for only the 5th time this season. They came in at 1-3. Clearly they did not have a lot of pitching, and it showed as Martinsburg got that win in Mercy Rule fashion in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
Yeah, but Martinsburg put the bat on the ball. They took advantage of walks, but Jordan Elbridge was clearly undermanned. Their 2 best players couldn't make it, and they're not a big squad anyway.
Martinsburg now 2-1 in the tournament, 17-6 overall. And for Martinsburg today, they will be taking on Dixie, South Carolina, and that game is at Waccamaw also this afternoon at 3:45. We mentioned Jefferson, who we have here, suffered the loss yesterday against Rock Hill. We've got Jefferson and Carolina Forest getting ready to throw out the first pitch. The Cougars are now 15-5 overall. They've gone 1-2 so far in this tournament. Spring Mills suffered a loss against Penfield, New York, 10-0. The Cardinals look like maybe running out of some pitching late in this tournament.
They played really good baseball in that game that we saw. They were aggressive. The defense was good. Corey Hammond threw real well for the first 3 innings, seemed to run out of gas in the 4th. And then Gotham came in and pitched the last 3 innings, and he was lights out.
So Spring Mills 2-1 in the tournament, 13-10 overall. They are taking on Pendleton, South Carolina. That game today at Anor, also at 3:45. And we rounded out with Washington. Had their best game of the tournament against Newark, New Jersey yesterday, but lost by a 5-3 score. Washington still looking for that first win. They're 0-3 here at the tournament, 0-18 on the season. And Washington will be taking on Altmar Parish today, and that game over at Conway, and it was supposed to get started at about 1:30, even as our game was supposed to get started at 1:30. Not sure if they're having the delay that we are having here, as our game's not going to get started until a little after 2. By the way, if you're watching on TV 10, we understand that the TV 10 coverage will kick back into regular programming at 4 o'clock this afternoon. We'll see if this one gets wrapped up by that time, and if not, you can catch the rest of the video portion on WRNR TV on YouTube, and as well you can catch all of the audio on each of our Talk Radio WRNR broadcast entities. Well, today's opening pitch brought to you by the Mortgage Center on Edwin Miller Boulevard in Martinsburg, where Mark and Cheryl Savage treat you like family with personal one-on-one service. They'll walk with you from application to settlement with low interest rates and closing costs. Hey, don't let someone throw you a curve when it comes to your mortgage. Go online to mortgagefinancing.com or phone 304-267-9040. Today's opening pitch on the way, and that first pitch to the left-handed swinging Aiden Stang in there for a called strike, and our opening pitch coming at 2:12.
Well, Stang's 3 for 6 down at the tournament with a couple RBIs and 2 runs scored.
Stang awaits. The 0-1 on the way. Swings and grounds it back up the middle. Moving in a bit to his left is the shortstop. Fielding that one, Derek Rogers. The throw to Chase Hughes at first. And with 2 pitches, Kyle Wendland has retired the first batter.
Routine ground ball. Got the nice charity hop at the end. Followed through on the play.
So 1 down for Taylor Tennant, the Jefferson starting pitcher, batting number 2 in the order, facing the left-hander on the hill.
At bat, Tennant's had a good series down here. He's 5 for 9 with a couple of doubles, a couple of RBIs, and scored a couple.
He'll take that first pitch down in the dirt for ball 1. Tennant on the season, 15 hits in 42 at-bats, a .357 overall average. No homers, he's driven in 11. Awaits that 1-0. Here it comes. Pitch had the plate, but down below the knees. 2 balls, no strikes.
Seems to be pitching carefully to Tennant.
Tennant with a good eye at the plate has also drawn 6 walks, so it raises his on-base percentage to .440. He takes down low, and that is ball 3. Tennant's looking to pick up another walk.
Be interesting to see what the wind does today. It was really windy as the game was started. Now it seems to have died down, and now picking up a little bit.
3-0 on the way, and there is a strike. Tennant taking all the way. That pitch along the outside edge, and it's 3-1. A swirling type of breeze if you look at the flags out in center field. Beautiful sunny skies, a few clouds overhead. Our game time temperature around 74. 3-1 delivery, sharply hit but foul down the third base line. Tennant out in front of that 3-1 pitch, and the count's gone full.
So the other thing, just looking at this that sticks out for me, is the palm trees on either side of the scoreboard in right field. Don't see those much in Martinsburg.
Yeah, you know you're not at home, right?
It's a clue.
Stevie Lee due next. 1 out, bases empty. Top half of inning number 1. Game got underway a little late. 3-2 delivery on the way. Breaking pitch just misses. That's ball 4. Good eye by Tennant.
It was. That was a good hold. That was a decent pitch. Tried to get him to swing at something outside the strike zone.
Yeah, broke down and in to the right-hand batter. Tennant draws his 7th walk on the season. Jefferson has a 1-out base runner for Stevie Lee. We'll have a courtesy runner taking over at first base.
And that's Chase Anderson, who was a second baseman Monday night. Tennant down here has gone, Lee down here has gone 3 for 10 with a double, a couple RBIs, and scored a run.
He'll have a hole to hit through. Chase Hughes holds the runner at first. Lee, a left-hand batter. Here comes the pitch, up and in. He ducks out of the way. It goes off the mid of J.T. Rice, rolls over towards the Carolina Forest dugout along the first base side, and that will allow Anderson, the courtesy runner, to take second base.
And I think that was a wild pitch because catcher Rice had to jump up and reach across his body and just couldn't get it.
Yeah, clearly fooled by that one as it came up and in, and he had to reach for it and reach around the batter who ducked out of the way. So the wild pitch advances the runner, and Lee awaits the 1-0 on the way. He'll pop it foul, back out of play. Count evens up 1-1 to the Jefferson center fielder and number 3 hitter in the order. He's got 21 hits in 60 at-bats on the season. That's a .350 average. Not real big, but swings for power. 2 home runs, 19 driven in. He awaits that 1-1. Wendland taking his time, and too much as Lee steps out. Granted time by our plate umpire. 2-man umpiring crew working these games, just like our regular season games back at home. Now we're ready in the 1-1 pitch. That one fouled back to the screen. Now with a ball and 2 strikes. Curveball from Wendland. Lee stayed back on it, but popped it foul.
He's been just under the ball on each of his 2 swings.
Wendland ahead in the count. Looks in at Rice, gets the sign. Anderson is lead at second. Shortstop ducking over. A pivot but no throw from Wendland. Anderson going back standing.
He's not that far off the base, and the shortstop's playing behind him. But the left side of the infield is just wide open. Huge hole between the third baseman near the line and the shortstop, who's way over about 20 feet from second base.
We've seen Stevie Lee throughout the season be pretty good about going the other way. This pitch down and in, good. Backhand stab by Rice to keep the runner at second as the count moves 2-2 to Lee.
Yeah, Anderson started towards third base and saw the catcher made the stop, hustled back.
They had that base running error yesterday. You can imagine, after hearing from Coach Lowery in the pregame show, something they will be very cognizant of in this one.
My guess is he discussed that with him at length after the game.
Lee again asked for time. Wendland really taking his time between pitches. Lee steps out and will now dig back in. Lefty-lefty matchup. 2-2 pitch due. No score. Runner at second. 1 away. We're in the top half of inning number 1. Here comes the pitch. That one works down low and outside, and it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. Lee has drawn 4 base on balls on the season to 10 strikeouts. It has lifted his on-base percentage to .403.
Well, getting to first base is real important to scoring runs.
The 3-ball, 2-strike pitch on the way. Swinging a bouncing ball, foul, first base side. Count holds full, 3-2. Breeze picking up and blowing in right towards us. Got a little dust in the eye.
Yeah, flag now is almost straight out, pointing towards left field.
So swirling winds as we're playing here today. They were listed to be at about 10 miles an hour. The 3-2 pitch again on the way, and this one down low and outside, ball 4. Back-to-back walks with 1 out in the inning, giving Jefferson runners at first and second for the cleanup hitter and catcher, Colson Titus. Titus bringing a couple of baseballs out to our umpire.
Well, and this is where I think this is part of what Coach Lowery was talking about. They've got a gift here with 2 walks. Now, Lee had a good at bat, but they got the 2 walks and only 1 out. They need to get at least one of those guys in.
Titus, a right-hand batter, swings at the first pitch, sends a towering fly ball into left field. Going back on it, Janik looking up over his head, and that one will be gone for a home run. He carried out of the ballpark a 3-run blast for Colson Titus, and Jefferson takes the early 3-0 lead.
That was hit high in the air. The left fielder looked like he thought he was going to be able to get it, and I think it just got up in that swirling wind you're talking about and carried, looked like it landed about 4 or 5 feet past the fence.
First home run of the year for Colson Titus, RBI number 9, 10, and 11. A 3-run bomb here in this first inning, and that's the way you make them pay for the base on balls. Now it brings to the plate Cullen Horowitz, third baseman, number 5 hitter in the order. A guy that leads this team in that home run category, leads the area back at home with 6 long balls. He'll take a pitch outside for ball 1.
And Horowitz has been having a pretty good series down here. He's 4 for 7, he's got a double, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs, and he scored 5 runs, and he even stole a base down here.
Got off to a bit of a slow start this season, but has really picked it up as the year has gone along. 1-0 is outside. Now 2 balls and no strikes. He's got 21 hits in 53 at-bats, lifting that average to 396 with 6 homers and 16 driven in.
He's a big player, too.
Yeah, very good size in that right-hand batter's box.
Standing about a head over the umpire.
The nickname, Bear Horowitz. The 2-ball, no strike pitch on the way. That one works down low and outside, and it's 3-0.
Wendland does not appear to have an overpowering fastball, and seems to be throwing a lot of off-speed stuff, breaking balls, but he's not going to. Doesn't look like he's going to blow the fastball by anybody.
Now that 3-0 on the way, and it finds the outside corner at the knees. 3-1. See if Horowitz gets the green light on the 3-1 if the pitch is to his liking.
And that pitch was down, and this umpire is consistent. Tennant can live there. He's going to have a good day.
Taylor Tennant will toe the pitching rubber when Carolina Forest comes to the plate. Horowitz watches another in that exact same location, and the count has gone full 3-2.
Yeah, it was.
1 out, base is empty. 3 runs in on the 3-run home run from Colson Titus. A 3-2 pitch due, and here it comes. Swing and a high drive, well hit into left field. It's out of here if it's fair, and it is a fair ball. It is a home run. The plate umpire watching it as it wrapped around that fair foul pole. Back-to-back jacks for Titus, and Horowitz and the Cougars now lead 4-0.
And he hit that a ton. I mean, that's when I said it's out of here. It hadn't passed third base yet. But that part of the problem that Wendland's got is he was down 3-0, and then he threw the 2 pitches down and away. But now he doesn't have, with being down 3-0, he can't throw a pitch out of the strike zone to change the plane up and in. He's got to come in with a strike, and when he came up, he only came up about belt high, and Horowitz did not miss.
So it brings up Corey Daly. First pitch to him down and in, and hits him in the lower body. Couldn't tell from our angle whether it got him in the leg or the foot, but Daly, hit by the pitch, will take first base.
I do believe that's Coach Worley coming out.
So there we will have a visit to the mound. That might be pitching coach. Is that Tom Pasco coming out? Yeah, Tom Pasco making his way out. And so he will talk and try to settle things down for starting pitcher Kyle Wendland. Doesn't look at this moment like they're ready to make a pitching change. Daly aboard at first, and still just one out, 4 runs in the inning on the 3-run blast from Colson Titus, followed up by that solo home run from Cullen Horowitz. Zach Rose, he is now the batter out of the number 7 spot in the order.
And we've got the grandmother of the designated hitter, Josh Douglas, helping us sort out the coaches.
Sitting just to our right, and she is scoring the game as well. We'll find out if she's a tough official scorer like yourself.
Well, at least you don't have to make too many tough decisions with the designated hitter, at least on field.
Well, that conference on the mound has wrapped up, and first baseman Zach Rose steps into the left-hand batter's box. That lefty-lefty matchup with Wendland on the hill. He'll be looking at the runner at first, had him leaning as the pitch is down low, knocked down, but the runner takes off anyway, and the throw through from Rice too high and goes into center field. Heads up base running by Corey Daly, as that pitch did not get very far away from J.T. Rice, but Daly with a quick break able to take second base.
Rose is having a tough time down here. He's looking for his first hit in this tournament. He's 0 for 10, scored a run, but does not have a hit.
Yeah, down to a .232 average, 13 hits, 56 trips to the plate, no homers, and 10 driven in. He'll await the 1-0 with a runner at second base. Here comes that pitch, works down low and outside again, gets away from the catcher, rolls towards the backstop, and that allows Daly to take third. So advancing on a wild pitch, that one may be as much a passed ball.
Oh, I'd give Score a wild pitch.
Another wild pitch.
Because he almost extended his glove out full arm's length and was still off the edge of the glove.
So a pair of wild pitches moving the base runner from first to third, and the runner reached thanks to a hit by pitch. This one down low for ball 3 to Rose. That one squirted through the legs of Rice, but not far enough for the runner to try to score.
And home plate has just disappeared for Wendland here.
Yeah, really having a hard time. He walked 2 batters on 3-2 pitches, went 3-2 to Horowitz and gave up the homer, has hit Daly, and now has fallen behind Rose 3-0. And that 3-0 pitch down low and outside, and that's a 4-pitch base on balls. We'll put runners at the corners, and we'll bring up the right fielder Mason Lance.
Well, none of the pitches to Daly, which hit him, or to Rose were close, and I think he may be spooked about putting the ball over the plate from his back-to-backs.
Gary, as we look down the right field line, one of the assistant coaches, I believe that's Carl Papacina, who went down. He's checking in at the bullpen as J.T. Rice, the catcher, went out to talk to Wendland. Someone is loosening, so we may see the pitching change relatively quickly, depending on how Wendland can do, getting ready to face Lance.
Yeah, Coach Lowery's got to figure a way to stop the bleed from here real soon.
4-0 the lead for Jefferson, but threatening for more with just 1 out in this top of the first inning. And the pitch to the plate, down and in, blocked again by Rice. The ball ends up sitting at the back foot of the batter, and the runners will hold. 5 straight, make it 6 straight pitches out of the zone, as Daly was hit on the first pitch that he saw. Rose was walked on 4 pitches, and now the 1-0 is due to Lance. There's a toss over to first, and Rose back in on the dive.
Lance down here is 2 for 6. One of those hits was a double, and he scored a couple runs. And he stole a couple bases, too.
He's got 10 hits in 37 at-bats. That's a .270 average. No homers. He's driven in 9. Now the 1-0 to the plate, down low and outside.
Yeah, that was a breaking ball, but it started out low and ended up lower.
Yeah, again in the dirt. Nice block by Rice. 2 balls, no strikes to count. Rose his lead at first. Daly his lead in foul territory at third. Now that 2-0 pitch on the way. It works up and away, and a snap throw behind the runner at first. A high throw. Hughes jumps up to pull it down, and the runners hold as the count goes to 3-0.
And Hughes is a reasonably tall guy, and he had to go up on that kind of decent vertical leap.
So Mason Lance, I'm sure, will have the take on as the 3-0 is due. Here it comes. Nope, he swings away and lines it over the head of the shortstop, a base hit. It'll score Daly from third. Rose will stop at second. RBI number 10 on the season for Lance as he delivers. Run number 5, and Jefferson leads 5-0.
Well, I'm surprised like you that he got the hit away on 3-0, and Wendland was too, because he just laid that in.
So runners at first and second with still just one away. The number 9 hitter in the order, Reagan Ollinger, coming to the plate. Did I get it right that time?
I believe so. He's only had one plate appearance down here so far, and he's 0 for 1.
Now comes Joey Worley from the dugout off the first base side towards the mound, and it looks like we will have a pitching change coming. We'll wait and see who that new pitcher will be and bring you any defensive changes that may come as well. Right now, we'll take our pitching change break, brought to you by Bears Repair at 904 Winchester Avenue in Martinsburg. Need an oil change or a complete overhaul? They do it all. For your automotive repair needs, call the certified mechanics at Bears Repair. Phone 304-262-0208. We'll take a 60-second break and then return to Carolina Forest, where Jefferson leads 5-0.
The National Maritime Center primary mission is to credential all U.S. mariners. We have approximately 250 employees here in Martinsburg, West Virginia. Most people aren't aware of the quality of life here in Berkeley County. We have a lot of employees that are from the area. We obviously have folks that have to do tours here, and it's kind of a little bit of a hidden secret of how nice the quality of life is here.
It's the late nights. It's the early mornings. It's working in the sunshine and rain and snow. It's the dedication, the care, the hours of training that led to the winner's circle. It's our job, our passion, our lives. We are the Horsemen.
Well, the new pitcher for the Panthers of Carolina Forest is Blake Cox, getting ready to go through more of his warm-up tosses. Had a necklace on, it looks like, that he just took off and put into his back pocket, and now will resume his warm-ups. Looks like a straight switch. Remember, our designated hitter is Josh Douglas, and batting for today's starting pitcher, so it doesn't look like any other defensive changes for the Panthers. Simply the swap on the mound. A tough day for Kyle Wendland, who will go 1/3 of an inning so far, giving up the 5 runs with the 2 runners on base. Still his responsibility. He gave up 3 base hits, did not strike out a batter, and issued 3 walks and also hit a batter. And those walks and hit Batman ultimately his undoing, as the Cougars made him pay with the 3-run home run from Colson Titus and the solo home run from Cullen Horowitz. That RBI single from Mason Lance helping to score a base runner that reached on that hit by pitch. And so give the Cougars credit for taking advantage of the opportunity.
And I'm sure Coach Lowery is happy to see that happen.
So it brings up Reagan Ollinger, number 9 hitter in the order. We're ready to go as Cox looks at the runner at second, runners at first and second, and the pitch to the plate, fastball outside for ball 1.
Cox looks like he is a full-effort pitcher, puts it all in, but that's it. Throws harder than Wendland did, but still not an overpowering fastball.
Yeah, much more on that fastball than what we saw from Wendland. Let's see what happens on this 1-0 delivery. Here it comes. That one works down low and outside, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Ollinger 4 hits on the season in 17 at-bats. That's a .235 average. No homers, 3 driven in. Has also drawn a couple of base on balls for a .350 on base percentage. This fastball sails high, and it's 3 balls and no strikes.
And one of the struggles I think that full effort pitchers have is control, because they're putting so much effort in, it just throws them off a little bit.
Yeah, a lot to go wrong in the mechanics sometimes, and you don't always get that same release points. 3-0 fastball right down the heart of the plate. now 3-1.
I mean, that's one of the things about DeLauder. Yesterday, well, he didn't have a great day yesterday. He's such a fluid, easy motion, and it gets good velocity on the fastball.
Cox ready. That 3-1 pitch. That fastball in there for a called strike. Count has gone full at 3-2. Ollinger taking that step across home plate like he might be ready to go to first, but now will step back in and await the payoff. And here comes that 3-2, and it is on the outside corner for a called strike 3. Ollinger again was ready to head down to first base, but rung up by our plate umpire for out number 2.
Yeah. That second pitch was about the same place. Third strike was about the same place as the second strike.
So we go back to the top of the order, and Hayden Stang, who is 0 for 1, got this half inning started with a ground out to short. Now bats with 2 outs and runners at first and second. Swings at the first pitch and fouls it out of play. Count 0-1. Stang hitting .296 coming into today. That's now 16 hits in 55 at-bats after the ground out earlier. No home run, 6 runs driven in. He awaits the 0-1. Here it comes. That one misses up and away to the left-hand batter. 1 ball, 1 strike. 5 runs on the board, 2 more on the base paths for Jefferson in this top half of the first. An inning, half inning, I should say, that's beginning to stretch out a bit.
Neither runner taking much of a lead.
First baseman Hughes playing in front of the runner at first with 2 on. Our first pitch came at about 2:12. It is now 2:35 to get through this half inning. Foul ball out of play. Third base side on the 1-1. Now with a ball and 2 strikes to Stang.
Now we've got Lance is not being held at first, and he's been taking a lead off just the glove side of the first baseman. Shortstop isn't holding either, but Rose out there is not straying very far from the bag. Maybe a 10-foot lead.
Cox ready. The 1-2 pitch on the way. Lined foul out of play again down that left field line. Count holding at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Stang has struck out only 8 times in his 54 at-bats. Has added 6 base on balls. An on-base percentage at .415. The left-hand batter waiting patiently. Cox getting the sign, and now Stang asks for time and steps out.
Yeah, and right now the infield is making no effort to even hold Rose at second base. Shortstop's a normal position. Second baseman is shaded towards first.
That 1-2 pitch missing well outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes now to Stang.
And probably a good guess, because while Rose has stolen some bases, I don't think Coach Lowery is going to have him try it with 2 outs.
Cox just a pitch away from getting the Panthers out of this top of the first inning. Here comes the next one, and wasted by Stang, who slapped out at the pitch and fouled it off the netting just to the side of the Jefferson dugout along the third base line. It's a good piece of hitting.
It is. He's making Cox work here. Those are borderline pitches, and Stang is keeping the advantage here by just fouling them off.
7th pitch of the at-bat coming up, and that 2-2 misses off the inside corner, and it's a full count, 3-2.
Yeah, rolled just a little bit away from Rice, but not far enough for Rose to advance.
It's a close pitch to take. Stang showing a good eye, has drawn that count full. Taylor Tennant waiting in the on-deck circle, looking for another chance to hit here in this top of the first. 3-2 pitch on the way, bounces out in front of the plate, blocked by Rice, and that is ball 4, and the bases will be loaded.
And young Mr. Stang earned that base on balls.
Absolutely. Rose moves to third. Lance is at second. You've got Stang aboard at first and Taylor Tennant to the plate, and he drew a walk his first time up, eventually coming around to score the game's first run. It's 5-0 Jefferson. They bat in the top of the first with 2 outs and the bases loaded.
See how much patience he has here.
Cox takes his time, now lifts the leg, he's ready, and the pitch, fastball hit in the air into right field. Janet coming in on it, still coming in on it, and slides, and will not be able to make the play. Edwards, the second baseman, was going out. He couldn't get there either. It will drop in as a base hit, and will score a pair of runs. Yep. Rose scoring from third, and Lance follows him in from second. 7 on the board now, a 7-0 Jefferson lead.
I'm not sure how much communication was out there because they almost ran into each other. And it seemed to me that the right fielder, Luke Janik, hesitated just a little bit at the end, and that's why he had to slide and try and make the catch. That was dropped in between. Tough play anyway.
2 RBI for Tennant raises him to 13 on the season. He gives way to Chase Anderson, the courtesy runner. Anderson on the way to second with that pitch to the plate, and will walk in as he tried to draw a throw down, but no throw coming from J.T. Rice, expecting the possible double steal.
Yeah, Coach Lowery likes that play to get the runner, but in the rundown between first and second, and then send a runner home third.
It was a strike to Lee, so 0-1. The count to him. The center fielder, number 3, hitter up for a second time. He drew a walk his first time up. He's up there now with 2 in scoring position. And the pitch popped up foul territory, third base side. Looks like it'll get out of play, and it will. That went back over the Jefferson dugout. Now 0-2 on Lee. Stang went from first to third on that single from Tennant. Anderson, the courtesy runner, takes second base on that first pitch to Lee, and so 2 in scoring position as Stevie Lee now awaits an 0-2 pitch.
I think third baseman Maggio at first thought he had to play on, but the wind picked up and blew it out of play.
Too much time being taken by the pitcher. Lee asks for time. It is granted, and Stevie Lee steps out. This half inning working close to 30 minutes in length. Fastball away, a wave and a miss. Lee fooled by that pitch, and that strikeout the second for Cox since coming in relief, and that will set down the side in this Jefferson half of inning number 1. But the Cougars bringing out the bats early. A 3-run home run from Colson Titus, a solo blast from Cullen Horowitz, and an RBI single from Mason Lance, and a 2 RBI single from Taylor Tennant. And at the end of a half an inning, your score, Jefferson 7, Carolina Forest coming to bat.
It's one of the toughest times you'll ever face when someone close to you passes away. It's a swirl of papers to sign and arrangements to be made, all while you're dealing with grief. At Brown Funeral Home, we encourage you to pre-plan. Pre-planning not only makes things easier for you, it protects you from rising costs. At Brown Funeral Home, our families are precious to us, and so are yours. Brown Funeral Home in Martinsburg, Inwood, and Charlestown, Ranson.
Life can get in the way these days. We all know that. Work commitments, social commitments, volunteer commitments, family commitments. You put your heart into all of it. You've got enough to worry about already. Your roof shouldn't be one of those things. Everything should just work. But when your roof is in need of an upgrade, you shouldn't have to worry about that either. Modern Renovations, your 4-state roofing solution. Reminding you that home is where the heart really is.
Get ready.
Yes.
Well, it took almost 30 minutes to get through that top half of inning number 1. Let's see what type of impact that has for Taylor Tennant, who has been waiting a while to toe that pitching rubber as he makes his second start of this tournament for Jefferson. He'll make his 7th overall start in his 9th appearance on the mound this season. Gary, pretty good numbers, 5-2 with a 1.12 ERA.
Yeah, he's a quality pitcher. Doesn't give up a lot of bases on balls, throws strikes, tries to get ahead of the hitter, has a pretty good fastball, breaking stuff. One of the better pitchers in Panhandle. Coach Lowery always seems to have one of those guys, doesn't he?
Usually more than one. First inning, first look forecast, where it's 74 degrees, sunny skies. Today looking for that high around 75, and then tomorrow with a high of 75. A lot of rain, wind, showers, thunderstorms in the forecast. Well, Nolan Edwards, second baseman, leadoff hitter for the Panthers, standing in. He takes Ball 1 high. Tennant ready with the next delivery. That fastball's down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Tennant's had a tough time down here. He threw that 1 inning down at Socastee. Didn't give up any hits. Gave up 5 runs.
Comes back with a fastball down the middle to make it a ball and 2 strikes.
Only one of them was earned. Struck out a couple, but he walked 3 in that first inning. But it started out with 2 errors, and that affects the way a pitcher throws.
Now that 1-2 delivery. This fastball right down the middle. Edwards watches. It's a called strike 3. That'll be the 42nd strikeout on the season for Tennant in now 31 2/3 innings. Has allowed 18 runs on 25 hits, but Gary, only 5 have been earned runs. You mentioned good control. He's walked 15 batters to those 42 strikeouts. But when you look at 5 earned runs to 18 runs allowed, has not gotten a lot of help sometimes behind him from that defense. Derek Rogers, shortstop, number 2 hitter, swings through a fastball for strike 1.
Well, that ratio, even at the major league level, 3-to-1 ratio puts you in elite company there. You're up in Max Scherzer territory.
The 0-1 delivery. Here's a swing and a line drive sinking quickly into right field, and that is down for a base hit. Mason Lance over, tries to pick it up barehanded, misses it, and now as he grabs it to get it in, taking second base will be Rogers, and that will be a base hit and an error as Carolina Forest gets a runner into scoring position.
Hey, nobody hurt. Let's go here, Taylor.
Just a case where Lance reaching out tried to grab it on the bare hand as opposed to using the glove as it was bouncing to his right side, and didn't come up with it cleanly as he caromed off the hand and went behind him. Heads up base running by Rogers.
Yeah, it was, but
I know it leaves you speechless as Chase Hughes takes strike 1.
This isn't a bang play with a slow grounder in the infield where it's bare hand or nothing. He had time to get in front of the ball and at least knock it down, and then the runner goes nowhere.
The 0-1 due to Hughes. Good size in that right-hand batter's box. Takes this pitch down low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Hughes, today's starting first baseman, in the number 3 spot in the order, batting with 1 down and a runner in scoring position at second after Rogers reached on that 1-out single and took second on the error. The 1-1 due. Tennant instead pivots and looks the runner back to second. That's after Ollinger, the second baseman, had gone back into position. He had been over near the bag, scooted back over into that regular second base position. Now he's back over by the bag again. Rogers with his lead. The 1-1 pitch on the way. That one works down low and outside. 2 balls and a strike.
But just stepping off has the same effect as if you throw over, with one benefit. There isn't a throw to go into center field.
There you go. Can't make an error throwing the ball if you don't throw the ball.
That was Satchel Paige's theory. He rarely threw over. He just step off.
Now that 2-1 on the way, and this fastball just off the outside corner, and it's 3 balls and a strike to Chase Hughes. That's some good zip on that fastball from Tennant.
Yeah, that was a pretty good looking pitch.
Yeah, working on that location. Let's see what he does with the 3-1 delivery. A swing and a miss at a fastball. Again, maybe over that outer edge. Hughes could not catch up. It's a full count.
And 3-1, he just came right at him.
Got to imagine he'll do the same thing on that 3-2. Let's wait and see. Hughes digs back in. Tennant looks at the runner at second. A couple of glances, now delivers, and it's a strike on the outside corner. In and out of the mid of Colson Titus, who picks it up and applies the tag as Hughes turned to look at the umpire after that 3rd strike call. He is retired for out number 2.
What? That's the that pitch was the same location that got Reagan Allinger.
Yeah, back in that top half of the first inning. You've got it. So now Josh Douglas comes to the plate, today's designated hitter. Understand he was on the hill in yesterday's matchup against May River.
And Graham over here just tensed up.
The left-hand batter looks at that first pitch off the outside corner. That is ball 1. Good size in the left-hand batter's box as he steps back in. We hear the nickname. Grandmom said, Bubba. Douglas awaits, swings, fouls it straight back into the netting. Count moves to 1 ball, 1 strike on that pitch as he fouled it straight back.
At second base, Rogers is dancing over about 10, 15 feet off the bag. Tennant's behind him.
You mean Daly as the shortstop behind him?
Daly's the shortstop. Thank you. Tennant's on the mound. And now he'll
Tennant's going to
stretch. He holds it. Daly dances back towards the hole.
And the pitch down low gets by Titus and through to the backstop, and the base runner will advance as Rogers now stands at third. The count to Douglas goes to 2 balls and a strike.
And that was one of those 58-foot fastballs.
A wild pitch. It's just one of those situations, again, that Coach Lowery Sr. was talking about. You know, a simple single turns into an extra base with the error in the outfield. Now you got a wild pitch, and with 2 outs, you've got a base runner just 90 feet away at third that really should maybe still be at first base. Or at the most, maybe second after that wild pitch. Inside-out swing on the 2-1 pitch, lifted in the air, but foul down that left field line. And the count to Douglas, now 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And they've got a big lead. They've got a 7-run lead, but still, the pitcher's job here is just to shut them down, because even 1 run picks them up a little bit.
Right.
My high school coach used to tell us, when you got them down, step on their heads.
The 2-2 due to Douglas. The left-hander awaits. The right-hander on the hill is ready, and Tennant's fastball misses down low. It's a full count, 3-2. Ellie went full to Hughes before eventually getting the strikeout for the second out of the inning. That was 1 batter ago. Now he's gone full again with Douglas at the plate. And the 3-2 pitch on the way, and that fastball misses down low and away, and there's ball 4.
Yeah, it did miss by much. That was a good, pretty good-looking fastball.
Yeah, nice pitch. Couldn't get him to chase. It was just off the plate. Douglas does his job drawing the base on balls. It puts runners at the corners and brings up Luke Janik, right fielder, number 5 hitter in the order. He's up with runners at the corners and 2 away, and the Panthers trailing 7-0 as Jefferson plated 7 runs on 4 hits in that top of the first inning. Took advantage of walks and hit batters. Pitch misses down low, scoots through the legs of Titus, and a run will come home to score. It's a ball and no strikes to Janik, with Douglas now standing out at second, and Rogers crosses on the wild pitch.
Oh, I think that's a
pass ball. All right, there we go.
That was right through the wickets.
That pitch was down low right at the top of the dirt, but got through. Colson Titus, the pass ball, scores the run. Carolina Forest on the board trailing 7-1.
I actually think that went off of Titus's glove, bottom of his glove as he reached down for it.
Swing and a miss at a high fastball. Janik helped him out as the count moves to a ball and a strike. Douglas at second after reaching on the walk and advancing on the passed ball.
And that's a gift.
Tennant ready. Pitch to the plate. Hit in the air into right center field. Dropping quickly. It is down, and that should score another. Douglas being waved around third. He will cross the plate. That's an RBI base hit for Luke Janik. And with 2 outs in the inning, the damage being done by Carolina Forest as they now trail 7-2.
And Jefferson's letting them back up, and they've let them back up with mistakes.
It'll bring up J.T. Rice, starting catcher, number 6 hitter in the order. Batting with a runner at first, 2 runs on the board, 2 outs in the inning.
And once again, the guy who gets the freebie is one of the ones who scores. And we've seen that through this tournament. It's been remarkable how many people get on base and walk and score.
First pitch fastball bounced foul in behind the plate. Count to Rice at 0-1. Tried to jump on that fastball that was down low. Buried it right down into the dirt, and then it rolled in behind the plate towards the backstop. Count at 0-1. 7-2. Jefferson out in front. A runner at first with 2 away. Bottom half of inning number 1. And Carolina Forest, as you just mentioned, Gary, get a little momentum back with the runs that have scored. Pitch misses high. Runner was on the move, and the throw down, and the grab by Corey Daly, the shortstop, coming across the bag, reaching high to get the throw, and then down low to try to apply the tag, and couldn't do it. Janik in with the steal.
Yeah, Daly caught the ball about a foot on the first base side of the line, had to reach back, but by that, and tag on the head, but by that time, legs were on the base.
Now the 1-1 on the way. Fastball on the outside corner. It's a called strike 2. So Taylor Tennant a pitch away from getting out of this first inning without any further damage. J.T. Rice a hit away from maybe bringing in run number 3. That 1-2 on the way. Outside part of the plate, a called strike 3. Good-looking pitch from Taylor Tennant. Ultimately, he strikes out the side, but damage done with a hit, an error, a walk, a pass ball, and an RBI single. In the end, it plates 2 runs, and at the end of 1, your score is Jefferson 7 and Carolina Forest 2.
The level of care that I got at WVU Medicine was top-notch.
If you're not progressing in healthcare, you're falling behind.
Is really an integration, looking at a clinical care network, looking at the good people who can help push the envelope and raise the bar for delivering a quality healthcare product.
To have my life back is absolutely a blessing. I am beyond thankful for WVU Medicine. I absolutely 100% have my life back.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%, Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
A long first inning. Our first pitch came at 2:12, and it is 2:55, and we're moving to the top half of inning number 2. And batting for Jefferson, the cleanup hitter, Colson Titus.
Yeah, at this rate, this game may not be over before the storm rolls in tomorrow.
It is moving at a snail's pace, but we shall see if that pace picks up. On the hill, going into his first full inning of relief, Blake Cox, and he'll start Colson Titus with a breaking pitch for strike 1. Cox replaced Kyle Wendland in that first inning as Wendland, the starter, went just a third of an inning. Pitch to the plate, sharply hit a line drive fair down into that left field corner. Colson Titus making his turn, digging for second. He'll get there standing as the throw just now gets in from Adam Janik out in left.
He hit that sharply, low line drive, hit just inside the line out on the grass and then down into the corner and ran hard into second base.
That is a double for Colson Titus. In scoring position for Cullen Horowitz. Titus had a 3-run home run his first time up, so he's 2 for 2. A pair of extra base hits. It's a nice start to the day. Horowitz also an extra base hit. He had a home run his first time up, and he takes a fastball on the outside edge for strike 1.
And Cox is, at least the first pitch, is keeping it away from Horowitz.
Horowitz steps out and takes that really big swing before digging back in. The 0-1 due. Here it comes. That fastball hit on a line, sinking quickly into left field. That is a base hit. Janik up with it. Will get it to the cutoff man, and Colson Titus will turn at third but hold there. Runners at the corners for Jefferson as the hits continue. A double followed by a single to get this second inning started.
And that was a fastball. It was over the middle of the plate, just about thigh high. Horowitz got it, hit. That was a line drive. It was the left fielder on one hop.
Stepping out in front of the plate, J.T. Rice goes through some defensive signs for the infield with runners at the corners. Corey Daly to the plate, hit by a pitch his first time up. He came around to score. Cox to the plate with a pitch down low and outside. Gets by the catcher, goes through to the backstop, and the wild pitch will bring home Jefferson run number 8 as Titus scores from third. Horowitz goes from second to third. The Jefferson lead is now 8-2.
Daly has had a tough tournament down here. He's looking for his first hit. Finally got on base when he got hit by a pitch in the first inning, but having a tough go.
Time taken as our plate umpire will dust off home plate. A run in scoring position with nobody out, a run already in, top of the second, and an 8-2 Jefferson lead. Daly to be followed by Zach Rose.
I was thinking about the Spring Mills game where the fans were yelling at the umpire to sweep off first base so he'd know where the strike zone was.
Here comes the pitch to the plate, a swing and apparently a miss. That one off the glove of the catcher Rice, and the base runner will advance as Horowitz will go from second to third, so no contact on that swing. The ball just came off the mitt of Rice. And that'll be a passed ball, advancing the base runner just 90 feet from scoring. 1-1 now the count to Daly.
2 pitches, and one's wild and the other's a pass ball.
And now the infield going to be drawn in. They'll try to cut down the run at the plate if they can. Beautiful breaking pitch from Cox. Snaps in there for strike 2. Count a ball and 2 strikes now on Daly. A run in, a runner at third, nobody out. Top of the second, 8-2. Jefferson with the lead. Now the 1-2 pitch. Here it comes. It misses high. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And Jefferson coming back with at least one is a good thing, because that helps stop the feeling the other team has that it's catching up.
There it is. When one team scores, the other wants to answer, right? Every time. Breaking pitch, trying to check his swing. Daly could not. He went after it. That one down low in the dirt. Ends up being a strikeout swinging.
That was a nice, just a little breaking ball, but started right around the knees, and Daly tried, and then dropped, and Daly just couldn't hold up on it.
So Daly, the 3rd strikeout for Blake Cox. And now with 1 down in that runner at third, it brings up Zach Rose. First pitch to the left-hand hitter in the dirt. Bounces up into the chest protector of J.T. Rice. He holds that runner at third by blocking that pitch for ball 1.
Yeah, it's another one hopper to the pitcher, to the catcher.
Rose drew a base on balls, came around to score back in that first inning.
Infield is up for Carolina Forest.
Yeah, for a second straight batter. They'll try to cut down the run at the plate if they can. Ground ball back up the middle, off the glove of the pitcher, grabbed by the second baseman. Just one play for Edwards. He looked at home, but wisely turned and made that throw to Hughes at first. Rose will ground out, but will get his 11th run batted in on the season as Horowitz is able to score from third. That'll make it 9-2 Jefferson.
I think if Cox doesn't get his glove on the ball, I think that ball goes through. So he got the out, allowing Edwards to make that play.
The out officially goes 1-4-2, and now Mason Lance, first pitch swinging, sends a high drive deep into left field, and that is gone for a home run. Lance tripped and fell going around first base, and J.P. Jones, the first base coach, is going to call him back just to make sure that he touched first base. Lance with a solo home run, the 3rd of the game for Jefferson, puts him in double figures in scoring, now in front 10-2.
That's a good call by Coach Jones, because if he goes by and he missed it and they appeal, that home run goes away.
First home run of the year for Lance. He's now got 2 runs batted in this ball game as it lifts him to 11 RBI on the season. And the damage done with 2 outs with the solo blast. Now it brings up Reagan Ollinger.
And he hit that a ton.
He did. And Janik out in left field lost that one in the sun as he was turning more to his left, and ultimately it went back out over off that right shoulder as he was looking for it. First pitch to Ollinger in there for strike 1. Ollinger 0 for 1. A strikeout victim looking, and that was against Cox back in that first inning. He was the first batter that Cox faced coming in relief of the starter Wendland. This pitch up and away, 1 ball, 1 strike, 10-2. Jefferson now out in front.
Cox started him out with a little breaking ball down and away, and that was a breaking ball up.
Now the 1-1 to the plate. Fastball on the outside corner. It's a called strike 2.
And that's a pitch that Ollinger took for strike 3 his last time up.
And that's a pitch that has been there for both sides, that outside edge. And let's see if Cox tries to go back out there again. Yep, there's that 1-2, and it's a breaking pitch grounded towards the third baseman. Charging on it, Magigo. He's got it. Throw to first in time to get him. Ollinger will ground out 5-3 and bring the inning to a close, but Jefferson able to put 3 more runs on the board, including an RBI ground out from Zach Rose, a wild pitch that scored a run, and then the solo home run from Mason Lance. We'll head to the bottom of the second when we come back with your score. Jefferson 10, Carolina Forest 2.
Welcome to La Bella Vita, named for my Grandma Vita. Our mountaintop getaway honors her legacy while complementing the home's spectacular views. This recently renovated property boasts a breathtaking landscape of Deep Creek Lake while providing great open interior spaces for a sensational vacation. You'll immediately notice the great room allows for entertaining, dining, and relaxing after long days on the lake or skiing on the slopes of Wisp. Your family and friends will enjoy relaxing in all the open spaces. The home features 6 bedrooms, including 4 that are private suites. And each of the 4 levels of this home feature amazing visibility as far as the eye can see. Like our family, we hope you enjoy making memories here on the mountain. We love sharing the spacious, warm, and inviting home that overlooks the lake. Cheers to the beautiful life, La Bella Vita.
Adam Janik, left fielder number 7 hitter in the order to get it started in the Carolina Forest half of inning number 2. Trailing 10-2. It'll be Janik, Maggio, and Davis. The bottom part of the order to face Taylor Tennant, the Jefferson starter in that first. Gary threw 25 pitches, 15 of those went for strikes.
Yeah, well, he needs to shut him down here, and he's got the bottom third of the order, so that's the part that you really don't want to let hurt you. And getting a 0 on the scoreboard here is big for Jefferson.
Now the first pitch on that outside corner, it's 0-1 to Janik. That next fastball right down the heart of the plate, a swing and a miss.
He just blew that by him.
He did. 0-2 the count. Janik, a right-hand batter against the right-hander on the hill. Titus sets up along that outside edge, and that fastball, hold on. Timeout was taken.
Boy, I didn't see that.
Apparently, was it a balk? It must have been a balk
Can't
call.
have a balk. There's somebody on.
Well, they just put a ball up on the board. And now the base umpire coming out to talk with Taylor Tennant.
Is that Coach Cross?
Yeah, Coach Cross, who normally comes out for dealings with the pitchers, pitching coach, if you will, makes his way out to deal with the issue that is at hand. Guess maybe they're saying, did he not have contact with the pitching rubber as he was making that pitch? They seem to be looking at the mound and the small hole that most pitchers kind of dig out to get that push off the pitching rubber. And I'm not sure what the case was that our umpire could see from his angle, but still going over it with Taylor Tennant and now with Coach Cross out there.
Boy, I've never seen that called.
All I know is they've put a ball up on the scoreboard, so it will be 1 ball and 2 strikes instead of a strikeout. So Janik will get a chance to step back in. And whatever the explanation was, Coach Cross is okay with it. Tennant seems to be okay with the explanation from our base umpire. And now here we go with the 1-2 do. And it's a foul ball back out of play over top of the first base dugout.
Do you see where our field umpire is standing right now? How is he seeing anything involving the feet of Taylor Tennant from right there?
I guess because of his angle looking across, I'm not sure.
I'm not buying that one.
Or his x-ray vision.
Now the 1-2 pitch missing up and in, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Let's see if Tennant can settle back in and go after Janik.
Coach Lowery coming out. The contact with the rubber rule as you're pitching is fairly unevenly enforced. There was I got an argument with a discussion with some umpires last summer because there was a kid pitching who, like everybody, started and a foot doesn't, somewhere in the game, this foot stops being in contact with the rubber because of the way they dig it out. That wasn't the issue, though. This guy, he'd come up with his wind-up, and then he would do a hop so that by the time he was releasing the ball, his back foot was nowhere near the rubber. And I argued that was a balk, but it turns out there was a pitcher in the Marlins system. His last name is Cup, can't recall his first name now, who did the same thing. They called balks on him, and the major league umpires reviewed it, and they said, well, that's just part of the forward motion, and so it was okay. Seems nuts to me, and not what the rule says.
We are back to action after that visit to the mound from head coach John Lowery Sr., and the fastball to Janik misses high, and the count has gone full. It's 3-2. The payoff pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. He got it.
And that was just by him. That's There was a time fastball was called a Linda Ronstadt because Linda Ronstadt had a hit with the song "Blew By You."
That one, he blew by him. Took a few extra pitches, thought he had that strikeout earlier in the at-bat, but eventually does get Janik. That's 4 Ks now for Taylor Tennant, lifting him to 45 strikeouts on the season. Brings up Peter Maggio, and he will swing at the first pitch and foul it to the screen for strike one.
And Tennant's doing a fair amount of little groundskeeping in between pitchings there with his spikes. Right in front of the rubber where apparently the problem was.
Maggio, a left-hand batter, big open stance as he swings and fouls the 0-1 back to the screen. That pitch was down and in. There's that down and in pitch again that you talked about earlier. For some reason, those left-handers able to get the bat down on it where the right-handers tend not to.
Yeah, he didn't drop his bat the way David Ortiz did. Just drop it down and boom, gone.
0-2 fastball outside part of the plate. Maggio fights it off. Another foul ball back to the screen.
When you look at the way Taylor Tennant stands on the mound, his feet are pointing more towards the dugout down the third base line. So maybe our field umpire was saying those heels weren't touching the rubber when he started. So if you look when he comes set now, those are pointed more towards that third base dugout than straight towards the plate.
Now from the windup, delivers an off-speed pitch hit high into the air on the right side of the infield, and the second baseman, Reagan Ollinger, just a few steps to his left and just a couple of steps out into the outfield grass, makes the catch for out number 2.
Yeah, off the bat, I thought that looked like a routine fly ball to right, but it just got held up.
2 outs in the inning as it brings up Tyler Davis, center fielder, number 9 hitter in the order. Batting with the bases empty and 2 away. Tennant an out away from setting down the side in order, and he may have done it with this pitch. A ground ball to the first baseman. Zach Rose has it, takes it to the bag himself, and Davis is retired on just 1 pitch.
Yeah, 2 hops to the first baseman, right up in his glove at belt level.
So Carolina Forest goes in order in their second at-bat. 2 innings in the books with your score. Jefferson 10 and Carolina Forest 2.
The National Maritime Center primary mission is to credential all U.S. mariners. We have approximately 250 employees here in Martinsburg, West Virginia. Most people aren't aware of the quality of life here in Berkeley County. We have a lot of employees that are from the area. We obviously have folks that have to do tours here, and it's kind of a little bit of a hidden secret of how nice the quality of life is here.
It's the late nights. It's the early mornings. It's working in the sunshine and rain and snow. It's the dedication, the care, the hours of training that led to the winner's circle. It's our job, our passion, our lives. We are the horsemen.
Change of scenery.
Here we go to the top half of inning number 3. As always, our trivia inning. It's brought to you by the Hagerstown Suns and Haas's Steak and Sea in the Aiken Center on Edwin Miller Boulevard in Martinsburg. Check them out on Facebook. And remember, for a great meal at a great price, stop by Haas's Steak and Sea. It's where your family wants to eat. Top of the third, we'll give you a trivia question and the station telephone number. First to call and get through with the correct answer, picking up 4 tickets to a future Hagerstown Suns minor league baseball game, along with the $30 in gift certificates to Haas's Steak and Sea on Edwin Miller Boulevard. Hayden Stang getting the third inning started, fouling a fastball out of play third base side. Blake Cox back out on the hill. We've got him up to 35 pitches now through what has been an inning and 2/3. Ready with that 0-1. Here it comes. Just misses outside. 1 ball, 1 strike to Stang, who has bounced out to short and has walked in 2 prior plate appearances. The Suns, by the way, suffered a loss yesterday at home, 3-0 in that Education Day special, as the 1-1 pitch finds that outside corner, now 1-2. So they're 6-8, heading back out on the road for a brief road trip to Kannapolis before returning home next week. Here's that 1-2 on the way, and it's a ground ball towards the shortstop over in the hole. Rogers has it, throw to first, and just in time to get him. Nice stretch by Hughes at first.
Yeah, good long throw for the shortstop.
Stang for a second time today grounds out 2 short. 1 down as it brings up Taylor Tennant. Let's give you the station telephone number first to jot it down, and then you'll be ready to call with the answer to our trivia question. It's 304-263-6540. 304-263-6540. Stay tuned for the trivia question. Breaking pitch in the dirt to Tennant. Down low and outside for ball 1. Tennant walked and scored in the first, and later in the first dropped a 2 RBI single into shallow right field. So he is 1 for 1, has been on base twice. The 1-0 on the way. Fastball line towards the second baseman, over his head and out into right center field, and Tennant has another base hit. A 1-out single, and I'm sure we'll see Chase Anderson as the courtesy runner take over at first. And as we do, let's bring you our trivia question. Here we go. We want you to name the former Red Sox great who became the first Major League player to homer in 4 different decades. Name the former Red Sox great who became the first Major League player to homer in 4 different decades. The station number 304-263-6540. Stevie Lee to the plate. First pitch to him, a strike on the outside corner. Again, 304-263-6540. First to call and get through to either Caleb or Sherry with the correct answer, getting our Hosses and Hagerstown Suns prize package. Hughes holds the runner at first. Anderson a very short lead as the pitch to the plate misses down and in. Anderson is on the move, and not even a throw for J.T. Rice. He knocked down that pitch in the dirt, scooped it up, and realized he had no play at second.
And that's Anderson's 4th stolen base down here. 3 of them came in that blowout against Lakewood.
That's the reason they've got him on the base pad, serving as the courtesy runner. Puts himself in scoring position now with a 1-1 count on Stevie Lee. 1 down in the inning, and the pitch, and that went in on his hands, but he fights it off. A foul ball back to the screen. 1 ball and 2 strikes. One more time, our trivia question. Name the former Red Sox great who became the first Major League player to homer in 4 different decades. 304-263-6540 is the station phone number. Caleb, Sherry, give us a text once we have the winner, and then in the bottom half of the 3rd inning we will give you the answer and tell you who that winner is. Lee again fights one off up and in. Very late swing, but he makes contact, fouling it away third base side. Count holds at 1-2.
That was a nice defensive swing because that was a curveball started up out of the zone, dropped back in, and he just flicked the bat out to foul it off, stay alive.
Too much time being taken by Blake Cox on the mound, so Stevie Lee steps out. Now back into the left-hand batter's box, awaiting that 1-2 pitch. Here it comes, and it's lifted in the air into left center field. Center fielder Davis ranging over, back a little bit as well. He's got it, and holding at second is Chase Anderson.
He golfed that into left center.
Fly ball out for out number 2. Now Colson Titus to the plate. He's got a 3-run home run and a double to his credit. He has stayed in to run for himself. No courtesy runner for Titus so far today. He's come around to score twice.
Well, Titus can run a little bit. He's got 10 stolen bases on the season.
Not your normal catcher build, so to speak.
No.
Right-hand batter awaits that first pitch as Blake Cox looks in at J.T. Rice, has the sign, he's ready. Here it comes, and the pitch up and away for ball 1.
And they're not holding Anderson at second. The second baseman walks over to basically say hello, but then he retreats. Shortstop is in normal position for right-handed hitter. Now the second baseman's hugging second a little bit.
And way too much time being taken again as Titus will step out. Titus now back in the right-hand batter's box, and Cox ready in the pitch to the plate. Swing and a miss. Counted a ball and a strike. That one popped up into the air out of the catcher's mitt of Rice, but right back down to him, and the runner holds at second.
I thought Titus got just a little bit of piece of that and hit the glove and provided some backspin for it to pop up.
Apparently we do have a winner. Yes, we do. I'll tell you who that winner is and the answer to our trivia question in the bottom of the 3rd. 1-1 off the bat of Titus. A high fly ball into center field where Tyler Davis moves to his left, comes in, camps under it, and makes the grab, and the side is retired. And for the first time Carolina Forest pitching, holding the Jefferson Cougars without putting a run on the board. Jefferson gets a one-out single, but will leave the runner stranded at second base. Heading to the bottom of the third when we come back to Myrtle Beach with your score, Jefferson 10, Carolina Forest 2.
When you're hurting, we're here. When things are confusing, we're here. When you need answers, we're here. Brown Funeral Home. We've been caring for families like yours for generations, since 1880. Whether you want to plan ahead or you need us now. Our families are precious to us, and so are yours. Brown Funeral Home in Martinsburg, Inwood, and Charlestown Ranson. We're here when you need us.
Life can get in the way these days. We all know that. Work commitments, social commitments, volunteer commitments, family commitments. You put your heart into all of it. You've got enough to worry about already. Your roof shouldn't be one of those things. Everything should just work. But when your roof is in need of an upgrade, you shouldn't have to worry about that either. Modern Renovations, your four-state roofing solution. Reminding you that home is where the heart really is.
Well, congratulations goes out to Robert Davis of Ranson, the winner of our third inning trivia contest. He had the right answer, and he'll pick up those 4 tickets to a future Hagerstown Suns minor league baseball game, along with $30 in gift certificate to Haas's Steak and Sea on Edwin Miller Boulevard in Martinsburg. Hey, don't worry, if you didn't win, we do it every third inning, and we've got more games coming as we get back to the Eastern Panhandle. This is our final game broadcast from here at the Mingo Bay Classic. Our other area teams all playing at such a time, 3:45 coming up, and at different sites. No chance to get in a doubleheader today, so we bring you this one matchup that has Jefferson leading Carolina Forest 10-2. Nolan Edwards stands in, leadoff hitter, taking high for ball one. Bottom of the third underway with a fastball on the outside corner to even up that count, now 1-1.
Yeah, 2 fastballs so far this inning from Tennant.
Edwards struck out, looking at a 1-2 pitch. His first time up, waves and misses at this 1-1 delivery, and it's a ball and 2 strikes.
And he's just not catching up to it. There's no reason to throw much else other than a fastball right now.
See if Tennant may be beginning to settle in a little bit after that rocky first inning. Good high fastball. Edwards swings through it for strike 3. 1 down in the inning. 5 Ks on the ball game now for Taylor Tennant.
That was up out of the zone, but changing the plane.
And Tennant threw 25 pitches, 15 strikes in that first inning, Gary, and gave up the 2 runs on 2 hits. He set down the side in order on just 12 pitches in the second and 4 pitches into the third inning. Has his 5th strikeout. 1 down, base is empty. Here comes Derek Rogers, and the pitch to him low and outside, ball 1.
Looked like he tried to take a little bit off of that.
Let's check out our trivia question and answer. 1-0 to the plate, and this one fouled out of play first base side. 1-1 to Rogers, who singled to right back in that first inning and eventually came around to score on a passed ball. All right, Gary, the trivia question. Matt, chime in as well. Name the former Red Sox great who became the first major league player to homer in 4 different decades.
I don't have a clue. I just know it's not Nolan Ryan because he didn't play for the Red Sox.
There you go. I tried to fool you today with that one. The 1-1 pitch misses up and in. 2 balls and 1 strike. Matt, do you venture a guess?
There's 2 that are in my head, but I don't think one played nearly long enough to hit a home run in 4 different decades.
Here comes that 2-1 pitch, and it's a ground ball towards the shortstop. Charging in on it, Daly. He's got it, makes the throw on the run, and in time to get him at first. Nice defensive play.
It was a nice defensive play, and that's the sort of play that they need to have on a regular basis.
So 2 down, bases empty for Chase Hughes. All right, Matt.
I'm thinking Carl Yastrzemski.
No.
I don't think he played during 4 decades, so I'm going to go with Ted Williams.
Ding, ding, ding. There is your answer.
He played in 4 decades?
Well, I'll tell you about it in just a second. Let's get that first pitch to Chase Hughes. 0 for 1, a strikeout victim looking at a 3-2 pitch his first time up. Fouls the first pitch here back to the screen just above us. Yeah, Ted Williams. We go to opening day 1960 in a 10-1 loss to the Senators in Washington. He hit a 500-foot blast to center, and that was the 4th decade because his first home run, as we get a pitch popped. If I get my headset back on, foul straight back over our heads, and the count 0-2. tilted my head back to watch that pop-up go over our heads, and my headset went flying off. Williams hit his first home run at the age of 20 in 1939. So he hit home runs in the decades of the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. Chase Hughes taking a pitch up. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now the count to him with 2 outs and the bases empty. So Ted Williams, the answer to our trivia question. Fastball working down low and away. Should even the count up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. By the way, Williams finished his career with 521 home runs.
He missed 4 years out of the prime of his career.
Yeah, think of that. And think of the fact that, he's known for that great batting average, that great eye, proving you can hit for power and average. Well, Hughes with an inside outswing on the 2-2, lines it past the first baseman Rose. A fair ball down in the right field corner. Mason Lance on it quickly, will get it in, but Hughes will be standing at second with a 2-out double.
And that hugged the line. Was never very far off the ground. Hugged the line down and then rolled into the corner. There's not a lot of foul territory by the time you get to the corner.
Our third inning trivia brought to you by Haas's Steak and Sea in the Aiken Center on Edwin Miller Boulevard in Martinsburg, and the Hagerstown Suns. Speaking of, we'll have Suns baseball on TV 10 coming up again next week. Josh Douglas to the plate, designated hitter, cleanup hitter in the order, checks his swing on a breaking pitch down and in for ball 1. He drew a walk and came around to score in that first inning.
Yeah, that was a good pitch selection because Douglas is looking fastball.
He bats with 2 outs and a runner at second base. 10-2 the lead for Jefferson. But a runner in scoring position if Douglas can come up with a clutch 2-out hit. He watches this fastball away, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. So Tennant started with a pitch in, then worked with a pitch away. We'll see what comes on the 2-0 as the wind picks up. Funny, it's picked up here, but the flags on the 3 flagpoles out in center field barely moving.
Yeah, that is odd.
2-0 pitch misses. That's 3 balls and no strikes.
I didn't notice that. I was grabbing the notes I got here to keep that from going away.
3-0 pitch on the inside corner at the knees for a called strike 1. We have our own personal wind tunnel, like those cartoons where the person walks around with a rain cloud over their head all the time. We just have a wind tunnel. 3-1 pitch. Fastball up and away. That's ball 4. A second time that Josh Douglas has drawn a base on balls today. It will put runners at first and second with 2 away. And will bring up right fielder Luke Janik.
And that is not what you want to do when you got a 10-2 lead. Pour him in. Make him put the bat on the ball. Because people hit about a third of batted balls. Only about a third of batted balls fall in for hits on average.
Well, one of those came from Janik his first time up as he fouls this fastball back out of play for strike 1. He had an RBI single into right center field that scored Josh Douglas from second base back in that 2-run first inning.
One thing coaches do with pitchers is have them chart stuff in batting practice and chart how many balls are hit in playable positions. And even in batting practice, only about 40% of the balls fall in where they'd be hits. That's batting practice.
0-1 fastball on the upper edge of the strike zone. It is a called strike 2, and Janik will step back in now, down in the count. The 0-2 is due. Tennant is ready. Titus sets up outside corner, and the pitch lifted in the air. Foul territory, first base side. Zach Rose goes over, but the first baseman does not have a play. It's out of play. Count holds 0-2.
Good fastball, but just a little bit higher than Tennant wanted to throw it.
0-2, the count holds. J.T. Rice waiting in the on-deck circle. 2 outs, 2 on. 0-2 pitch, here it comes. Swinging a bouncing ball, third base side, but foul. Good job by Janik, fouling off a couple of pitches, staying alive in the at-bat. 5th pitch of the at-bat coming up.
And another fastball from Tennant.
Tennant got through the first 2 batters with 8 pitches, 2 outs. Since then, a double and a walk. Runners are on the move, and the pitch is lifted high in the air and deep down the left field line. That one is hooking and will go foul.
Not by much.
Hayden Stang gave it a look. A long run for the left fielder, could not get there, and thankfully it fell foul by several feet.
and both runners were moving.
Yeah. Put him in motion despite the count being 0-2, and that has Colson Titus out to talk with Taylor Tennant. A brief conversation between the plate and the mound as Cullen Horowitz gets the ball from Stang and delivers it to Taylor Tennant. They have a brief word, exchange that glove smack, and now Horowitz into his position at third. The base runners back at first and second. 2 outs, and the 0-2 pitch again due to Janik. And here comes the pitch, and it's ground ball back up the middle over to his left. Daly has it, little underhand toss to Ollinger at second. They'll get the force out of Douglas. That brings the inning to a close. That fielder's choice ground ball going 6-4. So no damage done despite the 2-out double and the base on balls. 2 runners will be left on base, and we'll go to inning number 4 when we come back to Carolina Forest with Jefferson out in front 10-2.
If you hang the WVU Medicine sign, certainly has helped take us to another level.
Evolving what we try to do as physicians and as a health system and organization is the mission of WVU Medicine, and it's an exciting mission to be a part of.
With the knowledge and the years of practice that they've put into this institution, they know a lot. They can help you, and they've helped me a lot.
Having people treated locally enhances their overall care.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%, Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
We welcome you back into Carolina Forest High School. They trail the Jefferson Cougars 10-2 as we move to the top half of inning number 4. The storyline through 3, Jefferson 10 runs on 8 hits with 1 error. They've stranded 3, all 3 in scoring position. Carolina Forest 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors. They've stranded 3, leaving 2 in scoring position. Jefferson put 7 of their 10 runs on the board in that top of the first inning, scoring on 4 hits with 4 walks and a hit batter between 2 pitchers. And the big blows in that first, Colson Titus, a 3-run home run. Cullen Horowitz added a solo shot in a 3-run second inning. Mason Lance added a solo home run as well. Well, we get this 4th inning started with a fastball up and in. Cullen Horowitz, hit by the pitch, will take first base. Horowitz 2 for 2 with the home run that we had mentioned. Also singled in the second inning and now reaches on the hit by pitch to start the 4th. It'll bring up Corey Daly.
Horowitz is a big target.
That he is.
That looked like it caught him right around the kidney, but didn't rub because, you don't rub.
Daly stands in. The right-hand batter takes a fastball outside for ball 1. Daly's been hit by a pitch and scored a run and has also struck out swinging.
I talked about Cox being a full-effort pitcher, but sometimes he does not bring that right shoulder, the pitching shoulder, all the way around, and then it goes inside, which is what happened with the pitch to Horowitz.
Breaking pitch missing high to Daly. Now 2 balls and no strikes. Well, he was able to get out of that 3rd inning for the first time without giving up a run. A 1-out single in that 3rd for Taylor Tennant, but Jefferson left the runner stranded at second. Leadoff man on here in this 4th inning as Daly swings, lifts that 2-0 pitch out of play along the first base side. 2-1 the count.
Horowitz does not have much of a lead. He's got 1 stolen base this year, but that stolen base came, I take that back, he's got 2 stolen bases, but one of them came in that blowout against Lakeland where Jefferson stole 10 bases. I suspect that catcher didn't have much of an arm in that game.
Now time taken as Daly steps out. One thing we have noticed, Blake Cox will take his time between pitches. The Jefferson batters haven't always liked it. They've been freely asking for time and stepping out. Runner gets in the pickle as the pitch was in the dirt, and Horowitz, started towards second and now is caught in that rundown, and he will head back towards first, keeping that rundown going, and eventually tagged out on the play. And it is the right fielder who came all the way in, Luke Janik, who eventually applies that tag. It'll be a pickoff.
Yeah, the ball went off the glove of the catcher Rice down to his right. Horowitz started, realized his error, but he was in no man's land there. And that was a bunch of people 9. Or
Yeah.
2, 3, a bunch of people 9.
Yeah, 2, 3, 6. We'll figure out the rest. 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? Daly takes on the 3-1. That one misses high for ball 4. And that is a base on balls to again give Jefferson a base runner. Yeah, that one was down in the dirt on that pitch to Daly, and Horowitz just didn't get a good read on it and found himself in no man's land as Rice came up and threw behind him at first. As we get a toss over that way now to keep Daly close as he dives back in. I got at least 2 to 3 to 6 to 4. And I'm not sure who took it and eventually gave it to the right fielder. May have been 6 again as the pitch to the plate is fouled out of play. 0-1 the count now to Zach Rose, who has walked and grounded out to bring home a run.
I suspect that's one of those things that remain a mystery until we see the replay.
Matt, what did you see through the camera? Runner is on the move as the pitch misses down low and no chance to throw out Daly. Rice hangs on to the baseball as Daly goes into second with a stolen base. Count to Rose now at 1 ball and 1 strike.
That's Daly's 9th on the year. He's only been caught once. That catcher had no chance. First of all, it was an off-speed pitch, and then it was down, and he caught it just on the dirt inside by the feet of the hitter. No chance at all.
So the 1-1 on the way to Rose, cued off the end of the bat over towards the on-deck circle where it's grabbed by Mason Lance. Count now at 1-2. Rose way out in front of that pitch. Here in this 4th inning, we'll see what else is going on around the Eastern Panhandle Athletic Conference. Just one other game going on as we speak here in Myrtle Beach. The others scheduled to get underway very shortly.
Daly about 10 feet off, shortstop right behind him.
Rose takes a pitch that misses high, a little tight as well. Count now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hey, don't look now, but Washington may be on the verge of their first win of the year. They hold an 11-7 lead and still batting in the top of the 7th inning against Altmar Parish. 2 ball, 2 strike pitch on the way. Fouled out of play down the right field line. Holding at 2-2. Boy, that would be big for that Washington program coming into the day today at 0-18. They had gone 0-3 in the tournament, but close yesterday, a 5-3 loss against Newark, New Jersey. And right now, the Patriots with an 11-7 lead over Altmar Parish.
Yeah, they're having a tough year, but they lost a lineup full of seniors last year.
They absolutely did. We'll keep an eye on that one, let you know when it goes final. Tell you what else is going on with the EPAC teams in a moment. 2-2 due. Cox ready. Here it comes. Up and in, but turning on it. Rose hits it on a bounce past Edwards as the second baseman moving to his left reached out, couldn't get it. Throw comes all the way through to the plate, but not in time as Daly will slide in there. And with the throw to the plate, Rose will take second base.
That was a one-hopper. Edmonds moved over and kind of waved at him, but it was past the edge of his glove. And clean base hit. And then when the throw came in, they had a shot at the plate, but when it rolled back, that's what threw the catcher. That's when it allowed Rose to go to second base.
So a pair of RBI on the game now for Rose. He's got 12 on the season, an 11-2 lead now for Jefferson as Mason Lance stands in. Lance had that solo home run his last time up. He takes up and in for ball 1. Had an RBI single in that first inning, so he's got a couple of runs batted in, going 2 for 2. Jefferson has really hit the baseball well, up to 9 hits. But they've produced 11 runs as they've taken advantage of walks and hit batters. That 1-0 pitch popped foul, back out of play over our heads. 1 ball, 1 strike now to Lance.
Yeah, fastball upper part of the zone, and he got underneath it.
So do you give Rose second just on the throw through to the plate?
Yeah, that's a second on the throw.
That's right. I didn't know error on the play, even though it did get away from Rice momentarily at the plate. Rose had already made his commitment. He was going to second. Here's a pitch down low and outside. Rose was unable to and get a good read on it, and he stayed put. Hang on, did that pitch even count? Was time granted at the plate?
It looked like it.
Yeah, that's what I was
right
thinking
before
as
the pitch
well.
was thrown, you saw the umpire at home plate put his hand up, but then immediately squatted down into position. So if he called a time, didn't do a very good job of enforcing it.
Apparently the pitch will count. I'm waiting to see if our plate umpire will give the count via his hands, and he will not. So we'll stick with the scoreboard and say it's 2 balls and a strike. That was a quick visit for Rice out to talk with Cox, pitcher and catcher. Now action back underway, and here comes that pitch. Swing and a miss. Good high fastball. 2-2. The count evens up. Still, 1 out in the inning with a runner at second.
They're not holding Rose. Well, second baseman. On the first pitch, the second baseman seemed like he didn't know he was there. Now he came over and sort of holds him, now dances away.
That 2-2 fastball off the outside corner as the count has gone full at 3-2.
Rose has not taken very much of a lead.
Choking up on the bat just a little bit, Mason Lance awaiting that peg-off pitch. Cox comes set, looks at the runner. Now the pitch to the plate, and it's a bouncer right back to him. He's got it in front of the mound, and he'll turn and make that throw to first. Never even turned to third. Zach Rose advances on that ground ball out. The out will go 1-3, and that will be the second out of the inning. And we got a baseball.
A dog.
I guess we'll give it back somehow.
Yeah.
Gary, can you throw it over the screen? It's way up there.
I can if I can stand on your shoulders.
Reagan Ollinger, the scheduled batter, takes a pitch that misses up and in for ball 1. And that is Ollinger, today's starting second baseman. 0-for-2. He has struck out looking and has bounced out to the third baseman.
That last pitch was way up at him.
Another run just 90 feet away as Ollinger swings through the 1-0, 1 ball, 1 strike.
That was up by his shoulders. He helped out Cox a little bit with that one.
11-2, the lead for Jefferson. Batting in the top of the 4th inning. Here comes that 1-1. Outside corner, a called strike 2. It's been the place to live for pitchers in this one. Taylor Tennant has had more success than Wendland or Cox, the 2 hurlers so far for Carolina Forest. To this pitch, working down low and outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Going for the same spot. It was just a little bit outside on that one.
Cox has allowed 4 runs in relief after Wendland was responsible for 7 runs in a third of an inning in that first.
Rose barely off third base.
2-2 pitch, down low and outside, and it's a full count, 3-2. Good eye by Ollinger, who came in with just a couple of walks in 17 at-bats. He'll await that payoff pitch. Cox nods in agreement with Rice and now delivers, and that one up and in. Did it hit him? Yes, it did.
I got him on the hand.
Yeah, that hurts. It'll be a hit by pitch for ball 4. Ollinger is going to stay in and will take first base, putting runners at the corners as we go back to the top of the order in Hayden Stang.
And apparently, you may hear the yell behind us. I guess they're saying that wasn't a swing at the plate because the hands and the wrist are a part of the bat. So if they're saying it was a check swing he didn't go around on, then that's one thing. But if it's just a dead ball because it hit the batter, that's not necessarily not a strike. And
well, if he doesn't go around and it hits his hand, that's a hit batter.
Joey Worley.
The bat did start to come around, though.
Yeah,
is the only point I'm making.
Right. Yeah, I thought he checked.
I thought he did too, but the bat was, which I think is the conversation we're having right now.
Right.
Is the bat? I don't think he went around at all either. But I think it was close enough that I think this conversation's got to happen, and now our 2 umpires are going to get together and talk about it.
Yep, Joey Worley, head coach for Carolina Forest, talking with our plate umpire about that very question. Should it be a foul ball on a swing or should it be a hit by pitch? And the 2 umpires get together and determine, nope, there was no swing. It is a hit by pitch. And Jefferson will hold with runners at the corners with 2 outs and back to the top of the order in Hayden Stang.
And Allinger's still holding and rubbing his hand down there. That's going to sting for a bit.
Don't rub it, kid. Don't rub it.
Too late.
Stang is 0 for 2, a pair of groundouts to the shortstop, sandwiched in between. He drew a base on balls. Looking to put the ball in play with 2 outs and 2 on here in this top of the 4th inning. Left-hand batter against right-hand pitcher. Not a big lead over at first for Ollinger. Being held on there as the pitch to the plate, low and inside, gets away from Rice, and Ollinger will take second base.
Yeah, that's on a wild pitch. Far enough away for Allinger to get to second, but not far away enough for Rose to try to score.
So it's a ball and no strikes to Stang, now with 2 in scoring position. A run already in the inning, and an 11-2 Jefferson lead. Here comes that 1-0 pitch. On the inside corner, it's a called strike, 1-1.
Yeah. That's a location where Cox has had a lot of success today. Shortstop is holding on Allinger out there. I'm not quite sure why. The left side is wide open.
Here's a fastball high and outside to the left-hand swinging Stang. It's 2 balls and a strike. Taylor Tennant in the on-deck circle. Rose at third, Ollinger at second. 2 outs in the inning and a 2-1 pitch due. Here it comes. On the inside corner, it's a called strike 2. Boy, not much Stang could do with that pitch. Good location.
Yeah, it is. And I don't think anybody's touched that pitch when Cox has hit that location today.
Cox ready with that to break even, and the 2-2 on the way, and it's a bouncing ball towards the second baseman. Coming up with that one is Edwards, his throw to first. In time to get him. Stang will bounce out for 3. Retired for a 3rd time today on a ground ball out. Jefferson will strand a pair of runners in scoring position. They do play to run, however, on an RBI base hit for Zach Rose. And as we go to the bottom of the 4th, it is now Jefferson 11, Carolina Forest 2.
Welcome to La Bella Vita, named for my Grandma Vita. Our mountaintop getaway honors her legacy while complementing the home's spectacular views. This recently renovated property boasts a breathtaking landscape of Deep Creek Lake while providing great open interior spaces for a sensational vacation. You'll immediately notice the great room allows for entertaining, dining, and relaxing after long days on the lake or skiing on the slopes of Wisp. Your family and friends will enjoy relaxing in all the open spaces. The home features 6 bedrooms, including 4 that are private suites. And each of the 4 levels of this home feature amazing visibility as far as the eye can see. Like our family, we hope you enjoy making memories here on the mountain. We love sharing the spacious, warm, and inviting home that overlooks the lake. Cheers to the beautiful life, La Bella Vita.
Moving to the bottom half of inning number 4 for Carolina Forest, the 6, 7, and 8 hitters due to face Taylor Tennant. Gary, through 3 innings, we've got him at 61 pitches. 39 have gone for strikes, has given up the 2 runs on 3 hits, striking out 5, and has walked 2 batters.
Yeah, he's throwing the ball well, and fastball looks good, and for them, only a couple of their hitters have been able to catch up with it at all.
JT Rice will get things started. He's followed by Adam Janik and then Peter Maggio. Rice 0 for 1. Struck out looking at a 1-2 pitch that ended the first inning. Batting here to start the 4th, and the pitch, a fastball grounded on the right side of the infield over to his left. Ollinger has it in the second baseman with that throw on to Rose at first for out number 1.
Yeah, it didn't look like being hit on the hand bothered the throw. And I think he got hit on the right hand. I was looking down, seeing how he was rubbing.
He's still shaking it off a little bit, though, even after making that throw to first base, as Ollinger was hit in that last half inning at the plate. 1 down, base is empty for Adam Janik. First pitch to him, low and outside, ball 1.
Well, he's a little bit lucky because in turning away, I think it just hit the top and over. It hit square. That'll break your finger.
Oh, yes. Just ask Trey Turner of the Washington Nationals, who had that happen early in the season. Foul ball out of play down the right field line, 1-1. Now the count to Janik, who is 0 for 1. He struck out swinging at a 3-2 pitch in the second.
Trey Turner's a centerpiece of my National League Fantasy League team.
Oh, swing and a miss at the 1-1. Now with a ball in, 2 strikes. Hey, we mentioned earlier Washington looking to pick up their first win. Let's see what else is going on with our EPAC teams here in this bottom of the 4th inning. 1-2 pitch on the way. That one misses high. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
But a nice pitch. Looked like a little bit high. Change in elevation, change in location.
Tennant wants a new baseball.
Wants the round one.
Wants the one that has some strikes in it. 3 of our area teams just really throwing out their first pitches today. 3:45 were the scheduled start times for Martinsburg against Dixie. That game down at Waccamaw. Off-speed pitch in the dirt, a swing and a miss. It gets by the catcher, and Janik's going to reach. No chance for Colson Titus to try to make the throw to first as he went to the backstop over off the third base side and had no throw. So despite the strikeout, which will be the 6th of the game for Tennant, it's a third strike wild pitch that allows the runner to reach.
That was a really nice pitch. Had just a sweeping breaking ball. And Janik waved at it, but he missed it by about a foot. That's a foot off the end of the bat.
So now it brings to the plate Peter Maggio, and the left-hand batter takes strike 1. He's 0 for 1, a pop out to second back in the 2nd inning. 1 down with that runner at first. We mentioned Martinsburg. They're coming off a win yesterday over Jordan Elbridge out of New York. 15-0 was the final in that one. The Dogs 2-1 so far in play here at the beach. Maggio takes this one low and outside. 1 ball, 1 strike the count. Hedgesville is taking on University out of Morgantown, so a West Virginia battle here in South Carolina. That game at Socastee at 3:45. Hedgesville 0-3 here in the tournament after falling at St. James yesterday, 6-3. Runner on the move, 1-1 pitch to the plate, fouled back. That one does get out of play off the third baseline.
Yeah, it was a hit and run, trying to get things going. I don't think he's stealing it. 9 runs down.
Yeah, 11-2, that Jefferson lead. So a little hit and run activity, but Maggio fouled it off. A ball and 2 strikes the count. Tyler Davis due next. 1 down with that runner on. The other game today has Spring Mills against Pendleton, South Carolina. That game at 3:45 over at Anor High School. Spring Mills suffered their first loss down here yesterday. Pitch to the plate on the outside corner. It is a called strike 3. Maggio watches that 1-2 go by. Strikeout number 7 for Tennant. 2 outs in the inning with that runner at first. It brings up Tyler Davis.
And Maggio had a really wide open stance. He was almost facing the pitcher, but he didn't bring his foot all the way back. That left him vulnerable to that pitch on the outside corner.
Toss over to first. It sends Janik back on the dive. We mentioned Spring Mills losing to Penfield, New York yesterday, 10-0 the final. So Spring Mills 2-1 going into play today against Pendleton, South Carolina. Up the throw over to first, and this time Janik got caught leaning towards second. Good throw from Tennant. Zach Rose applies the tag, and that pickoff will bring the inning to a close. That means Tyler Davis will be at the plate to get the bottom of the 5th underway. 4 innings in the books, and we step aside with the score. Jefferson 11 and Carolina Forest 2.
Ron Hawker here. You have no idea what Johnny's goes through to bring you the best seafood around. We have snow crab clusters, shrimp, crab meat, fish, all the best seafood you want at Johnny's. It's a tough job out here, but our customers are worth it. Johnny's with 2 great locations, 1456 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, and Route 11 south in Chambersburg.
The National Maritime Center primary mission is to credential all U.S. mariners. We have approximately 250 employees here in Martinsburg, West Virginia. Most people aren't aware of the quality of life here in Berkeley County. We have a lot of employees that are from the area. We obviously have folks that have to do tours here, and it's kind of a little bit of a hidden secret of how nice the quality of life is here.
We move to the top half of inning number 5, and a pitching change coming for Carolina Forest, brought to you by Bears Repair, 904 Winchester Avenue in Martinsburg. Need an oil change or a complete overhaul? They do it all. For your automotive repair needs, call Bears Repair at 304-262-0208. Well, taking over on the mound is first baseman Chase Hughes. So that means we'll definitely have a change defensively at first. We'll see if there are any other changes.
Christian Cassidy is at first base.
So let's mark that down as Christian Cassidy takes over. And we'll spell the end on the mound for Blake Cox. He'll go 3 2/3 innings. He'll give up 6 hits, 4 runs scored on his watch. He was able to collect 3 strikeouts, also issued 2 walks and 2 hit batters. So there's your line on Blake Cox as Chase Hughes has finished his warm-up tosses, and it'll be Taylor Tennant whom he will face to get this top of the 5th inning underway.
Well, Matt, since Hughes is coming in to pitch from first base, that means they kill the DH, so Cassidy has got to be hitting in a number 4 slot where Josh Douglas was.
It looks like the rest of the infield holding steady.
Yeah, they've all got those dark shirts on.
Taylor Tennant to the plate to get this top of the 5th started. Swings at the first pitch, sends a soft liner into right field. Charging on it was Janik, but ultimately had to hold up at the end and play it on a bounce. That one drops in for the 3rd hit of the day for Taylor Tennant.
And that was a fastball that was belt high right down the middle of the plate, and Tennant just took it to right field over the second baseman's head.
It'll bring up Stevie Lee. How about Tennant? 3 for 3 today, 3 singles and a walk, 2 runs batted in, and each time he's given way to the courtesy runner Chase Anderson. Anderson has come around to score once. He's on first again with the pitch down in the dirt, blocked by Rice. It's a ball and no strikes to Stevie Lee.
Anderson thought about going, but saw the catcher come up with it and hustled back.
It's a big run at first base in this game right now for Carolina Forest. Should that run come around to score, it would make it a 10-run deficit. The mercy rule would be in effect in Carolina Forest at bat in the bottom of the 5th as Lee takes a strike. It's 1-1.
That pitch was a little lower than most of the strikes we've seen today.
Hughes, good size on the mound. The right-hander delivers. This one down and in, a swing and a miss by Lee.
That was a little breaking ball. Nice pitch there they threw in. Umpire's been pretty consistent today. I thought balls and strikes. Good umpire.
1 ball, 2 strikes, the count. Lee looking for his first hit. He has walked, he has struck out, he has flied out to center. Here's the pitch down and in. Runner on the move, a swing and a miss. There's the strikeout and the throw down, not in time, as Anderson gets in with a feet-first slide with his 2nd stolen base of the day. So Stevie Lee strikes out. Big strikeout for Hughes, 1 away, but now a runner in scoring position.
Anderson's got good speed because he did not have a big lead. And I didn't think he had all that great a jump, but was in there in plenty of time. He got helped out that it was a breaking pitch down and in, making to a left-handed hitter, making the throw harder because the catcher had to come up and throw over the hitter.
Brings up Colson Titus out of the cleanup spot. He's got 3 runs batted in on a 3-run home run in that first inning. Swings here, bounces a foul, first base side. He added a double in the 2nd inning. Last time up, a fly out to center field. So Titus 2 for 3 today.
And Titus, I think, was trying to go to right field because he looked out there, where the second baseman usually is, and all he saw is a right fielder about 200 feet away.
Breaking pitch working low and outside. Count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike now on Titus. Looks like number 17 at second base.
I think you're right.
What do you have? As the 1-1 pitch would be due to Titus. Here it comes, and it's a ground ball towards the shortstop. Rogers in on it. He fields, throws on the run in time to get him at first. With the play in front of him, Chase Anderson could get a good break, and he goes from 2nd to 3rd. Now 90 feet away with 2 outs in the inning.
Well, one, it was nice base running, but the other thing is that Rogers, it's tempting for the shortstop on that to pick it up and go to 3rd, but he took the sure out, which is what they need here.
So that will bring up Cullen Horowitz. Might be Josh Hester now playing out at second base.
I think you're right.
So Hester taking over here in this fifth inning. First pitch to Cullen Horowitz is a strike. Horowitz with a solo home run in the first, had a single in the second, was hit by a pitch in the fourth inning. 2 for 2 in this one. Here's that 0-1 pitch. Foul ball straight back to the screen. That one down low. Scooted across the ground to the backstop. Count 0-2. Horowitz was trying to golf that one out of here. 3 home runs in this tournament. 7 on the season now for him.
He's homered in 3 of the 4 games.
Now that 0-2 delivery. That one missing inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Horowitz flinched as though he were going to swing, then took the pitch and kind of grimaced, waiting for the call from the plate umpire.
Yeah, that was a nice pitch.
It was.
It clearly fooled Horowitz.
Yeah, and just missed the strike zone. So now that 1-2 is due. Here it comes, and it's lifted in the air over towards second. Hester moving out on it a few steps into the outfield grass, makes the catch on the pop-up, and the side is retired. Well, a leadoff single for Jefferson's Taylor Tennant, but they cannot score him, leaving that runner stranded at third base. We'll go to the bottom half of inning number 5 with Jefferson still in front, 11-2.
It's the late nights. It's the early mornings. It's working in the sunshine and rain and snow. It's the dedication, the care, the hours of training that led to the winner's circle. It's our job, our passion, our lives. We are the horsemen.
When you're hurting, we're here. When things are confusing, we're here. When you need answers, we're here. Brown Funeral Home. We've been caring for families like yours for generations, since 1880. Whether you want to plan ahead or you need us now. Our families are precious to us, and so are yours. Brown Funeral Home in Martinsburg, Inwood, and Charlestown Ranson. We're here when you need us.
We go to the bottom half of inning number 5. Thanks to our sponsors for supporting our coverage of high school baseball. Miller Honda, Cox Holiday Professionals, CPAs, Brown Funeral Homes, Miller's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Mirius Group, and Ameriprise Financial, WVU Medicine Berkeley and Jefferson Medical Centers, Parsons Ford, Bechtel Jewelers, W. Harley Miller Systems, D&N Auto, the Mortgage Center, Haas's Steak and See, the Hagerstown Suns, Bears Repair, the Final Score, and Atlantic Security. Thank you again for your sponsorship. Tyler Davis stands in, takes a strike on the outside corner. Center fielder number 9, hitter in the order, facing Taylor Tennant for a second time. This fastball down the middle, belt high. It's 0-2. Davis is 0 for 1 as he grounded out unassisted to the first baseman back in the second inning. Tennant with that 0-2 on the way, and it's a one-hopper right back to him off the front slope of the mound. He's going to run towards first and make the short toss to Zach Rose to get the out. So Davis has put it in play twice, but a pair of ground ball outs. And that will bring up the new second baseman. So Josh Hester with his first opportunity to swing the bat since taking over defensively for Nolan Edwards. Hester stands in. Edwards was 0 for 2, a couple of strikeouts in the first pitch. Strike 1 to Hester.
Hester got fooled by a curveball. That was broke down and away from him, and he missed that by a good 6 inches.
Tennant's really working it well. Comes back with that breaking pitch again, a swing and a miss. And just like that, it's 0-2.
Same pitch, same location. He was closer this time, maybe 4 inches.
Same result. Got to finish that one out. Same pitch, same location, same result. 0-2 on the way, and this fastball just off the outside corner for ball 1.
Hester thought it was strike 3. He was heading towards the dugout.
He did.
At that point, it should just be called. When the batter thinks it and is starting to make his way back to the dugout.
If you think so, I'll agree.
Yeah, involuntarily giving yourself up.
Now that 1-2 on the way. Swing and a miss. Good pitch that broke away from the right-hand batter. Started on the outside corner, ended up outside. Hester strikes out. 8th K now for Tennant.
And Hester had no chance against the breaking ball. Just not tracking it.
That'll bring up Derek Rogers. He is 1 for 2. Had a single into right center in the first. Ultimately came around to score on a pass ball. Last time up, grounded out to the shortstop. First pitch swinging, cues it off the end of the bat, foul up the first baseline. Zach Rose will pick it up in foul territory. Now Jefferson looking to pick up a win in this one, which would have them 2-2 in their 4 games here in the tournament and would lift them to 16 wins against 5 losses this season. 0-1 delivery, working down low and outside. An appeal to our base umpire, no swing. Count at 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, good thought, but he didn't go around. But you never know.
That's why you ask for the appeal. That 1-1 fastball outside. 2 balls and a strike. Checking in again on the Washington Patriots to see if they were able to score their first win of the year. Had that 11-7 lead in the top of the 7th inning earlier. My phone is efforting to connect right now. We'll tell you in a moment. 2-1 pitch, low and outside, 3 balls and a strike.
I don't know if I've heard effort used as a verb before.
Tennant going to step in behind the mound. Now kind of rubbing down the lower part of the leg on his right leg. That's his push-off leg. I wonder if he's cramping up a little bit. Might be the case. Here's that 3-1 pitch, and this one works down low and outside. That's ball 4.
That was not close.
Not at all. So after retiring the first 2 batters, the walk will put a base runner on for Chase Hughes. And Tennant still trying to walk that out. Going to stretch out that right leg, and that's going to get Ken Cross out of the dugout off the third base side and make his way out as he'll check on his pitcher. Make sure that everything is okay. It figures my phone connection did not want to let me in, so Washington is going to get the win. It hasn't gone final yet. Altmar Parrish is now batting in the bottom of the 7th inning. What did I tell you the score was earlier? Do you remember that?
11-7.
11? Yeah. Washington added 8 more runs in that top of the 7th. They have a 19-7 lead, and the Washington Patriots are going to pick up their first win against 18 losses this season. So they snapped the 0-18 start.
In exciting fashion, too.
Yeah.
Hey, if the other team has 3 outs, it isn't over.
All right. I'll give you that there.
In any game.
In Charlestown, Gary Geppert's now public enemy number 1.
No, he's just calling it like it is. It ain't over till it's over.
And you can't start counting. If you think it's over when there's 3 outs left, the baseball gods will do evil things to you.
It'll bring to the plate Chase Hughes as the conference on the mound ends. Tennant seems to be okay. Maybe cramping just a little bit, and he's going to gut it out. He'll go back to work with a fastball to Chase Hughes. He fouls it back to the screen for strike 1.
That was a better-looking pitch.
Hughes, a strikeout victim looking in the first. It doubled down the right field line in the third. Here's a toss over. Tennant's already picked off 1 today, but that not close as Rogers went back in on the dive.
Tennant's pretty quick to first base, though.
Hughes back in awaiting that 0-1 pitch. Bottom half of the 5th inning, game scheduled to go 7, and now Colson Titus says, step off, hold on for a moment. Now Titus ready, so too is Tennant. The runner with his lead at first, and the pitch to the plate down low and outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, but that with the guy on first base, if you want to hold him, you're up 11-2. He's probably not going. You get the same result just by stepping off without the risk of an error.
2 outs with that runner at first. Here's the pitch, fastball up and away. Snap throw in behind the runner, and just getting back in on the head first dive was Rogers. Rose caught that one and slapped the tag down, but not quite in time.
Rose's tag came down right in between on the head, but in between the arms were grabbing the base. Nice throw by Titus, though.
Yeah, Colson Titus put it right down there. and almost had Rogers leaning. Count to Hughes now at 2 balls and a strike. Tennant needs to take some time for tucking his shirt back in. Now he's ready to go. Delivers a fastball just up and away for ball 3. It's important not only that you pitch good, but you look good while doing it.
You need that wardrobe adjustment to avoid wardrobe malfunctions.
Very close on that last pitch. Just missed that outside corner that's been such a key spot all game long. Another throw over to first sends Rogers back on the dive. 11-2, Jefferson with the lead. Carolina Forest batting bottom of the 5th inning. Jefferson plated 7 of the runs in that first inning. Here's that 3-1 pitch, swing, and a miss. It's 3-2. Titus came up, bluffed towards first, but didn't throw.
And that was just a fastball that got right past Hughes.
Payoff pitch due with 2 outs. Rogers will be off. Rose is going to play behind the runner. There he goes, and the payoff pitch, swing and a miss. He got him.
A little bit of a breaking ball, hard breaking ball on that, and up in the zone.
Yep, nice. Hughes down on strikes. 9th strikeout for Taylor Tennant. He pitches around that 2-out walk, leaving that base runner stranded at first base. We go to the 6th inning when we return to Carolina Forest with Jefferson in front, 11-2.
Thank you.
It's the late nights. It's the early mornings. It's working in the sunshine and rain and snow. It's the dedication, the care, the hours of training that led to the winner's circle. It's our job, our passion, our lives. We are the Horsemen.
When you're hurting, we're here. When things are confusing, we're here. When you need answers, we're here. Brown Funeral Home. We've been caring for families like yours for generations, since 1880. Whether you want to plan ahead or you need us now. Our families are precious to us, and so are yours. Brown Funeral Home in Martinsburg, Inwood, and Charlestown Ranson. We're here when you need us.
Here we go to the top half of inning number 6. Game scheduled to go 7. Jefferson right now with an 11-2 lead. Left a base runner stranded in the top of that 5th inning. Left that runner stranded at third base. All they got to do is punch one more across and stretch that lead out to 10. And the bottom of the 6th inning could end up being the final at bat for Carolina Forest. And if Taylor Tennant's going to go the distance, that may need to be the case, as we have Tennant up to 89 pitches, 56 for strikes through 5 solid innings, giving up just 2 runs on 3 hits. So the first pitch to Corey Daly, ball 1. That one bouncing past the catcher and through to the backstop just to the left of us.
Yeah, right-handed here, that bounced in the back of the left-handed box.
Here's a pitch on the inside corner for a strike. Now 1-1 to Daly, who's been hit by a pitch, has struck out swinging, and has drawn a base on balls. Has come around to score 2 runs. Chase Hughes into his 2nd full inning of relief. Big right-hander comes with an off-speed pitch on the inside corner. It's 1-2. Nice pitch, good location.
And Daly's still looking for his first hit of the tournament.
See if he can get it here. The 1-ball, 2-strike delivery on the way. Swinging a bouncer foul in behind the plate, and we'll do it again.
He has been on base 2 out of 3 times today, though. Once got hit, and once worked himself a full count walk.
Zach Rose, Mason Lance due next. 6, 7, and 8 hitters in the Jefferson order. Here's that 1-2 to Daly. Fastball sails high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here in this half inning, we'll check out this date in baseball history. Brought to you by Bears Repair at 904 Winchester Avenue in Martinsburg. Pitch down in the dirt. Daly holds back. He flinched but did not swing, and it's a full count, 3-2. Set up your appointment for all of your automotive repair needs by calling Bears Repair at 304-262-0208. Payoff pitch on the way. And it's a bouncing ball in the hole between third and short. Cut off by Maggio, the third baseman. Throw to first, and a nice stretch there, and they get him at first base. Good stretch by Christian Cassidy at first.
And a nice pickup by Maggio. It cut across the infield in front of the shortstop. It did not take a big hop. He had to reach down and get that little hop, and without without breaking stride, made the throw. Good play.
One down, bases empty as it brings up Zach Rose. Here's the pitch. Down low, and that is ball one. Rose has walked, has brought in a run with an RBI ground out that went 1-4-3 off the glove of the pitcher before the second baseman fielded it and threw him out. Had an RBI single his last time up. Big swing and a miss at this 1-0, and it's 1-1 strike, and out of nowhere, that wind has come back, blowing us, but just now getting to the flags in center. It's been fun as that breeze hits us, and the flags are still hanging limp. Rose swinging at the 1-1, fouls it out of play down the left field line. It's a ball and 2 strikes.
And he was a couple days behind that one.
We'll check out this date in baseball history here in just a moment. 1-2 pitch on the way. Down and in. That is a ball, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Our date, April the 18th. We're going to 1950. And this one, a moment from the broadcast booth. The 2-2 pitch from Hughes. Looks in at Rice, nods in agreement, and now that 2-2 delivery well outside off the mitt of Rice through to the backstop. It's a full count, 3-2. It was today's date, 1950. Vin Scully calls the first game of his illustrious 67-year career with the Dodgers, describing Brooklyn's 9-1 defeat to the Phillies on opening day at Shibe Park in Philadelphia. It was 3 years later that Scully would become the team's primary announcer, not giving that up until, a year ago or so? 2 years ago now, I guess it would be. 3-2 pitch, good one from Hughes, a swing and a miss by Rose.
Yeah, Hughes looks like he's got decent fastball. He's got good breaking stuff. He just can't throw it the same way 2 times in a row, but doing well enough here.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if Vin Scully, when he called his first game, talked about the cerulean blue skies.
Swing and a miss by Mason Lance to get this at-bat started with 2 outs and the bases empty. His way of painting pictures with his words, matched by no one. The 0-1 on the way. This one down and in. 1 ball, 1 strike to Lance out of the number 8 spot in the order. He's delivered an RBI single and a solo home run. Is also bounced out to the pitcher. He's 2 for 3. How about that 1-1? That one down in the dirt. That one catching a piece of Rice, then bouncing up, hitting the umpire. Count at 2 balls and a strike. And
that's that breaking ball he's got that has good break. It's just, it wasn't anywhere near the plate.
JT Rice is going to need the hot tub treatment at the end of this one.
I believe that's so. But then again, he's young.
Yeah, but you'll feel him later in life, right?
That's right.
Now that 2-1 pitch, a bouncer foul. That one rolling in behind the plate. Lance able to get around on that inside pitch, and it's 2-2. 11-2. Jefferson out in front, batting top half of inning number 6. Was checking earlier, the Hedgesville game against University didn't start at 3:45. Well, the 2-2 pitch, a called strike 3 on the outside corner at the knees. That is 3 strikeouts now for Hughes. He sets down the side in order and, in fact, has retired 6 straight batters since giving up a single to Taylor Tennant when he came into the game in the 5th inning. So Jefferson goes in order for the first time today, and we'll go to the bottom of the 6th with Jefferson still leading Carolina Forest 11-2.
Life can get in the way these days. We all know that. Work commitments, social commitments, volunteer commitments, family commitments. You put your heart into all of it. You've got enough to worry about already. Your roof shouldn't be one of those things. Everything should just work. But when your roof is in need of an upgrade, you shouldn't have to worry about that either. Modern Renovations, your 4-state roofing solution. Reminding you that home is where the heart really is.
If you hang the WVU Medicine sign, it certainly has helped take us to another level.
He literally saved my life. It's just mind-boggling to me that he was able to do what he did.
We're able to affect much more of a difference for our patients with these resources.
Having people treated locally enhances their overall care.
They treat you great, and they're down to earth in the West Virginia way that all West Virginians treat each other.
For the Panthers,
We're moving to the bottom half of inning number 6. Game scheduled to go 7. It will go 7. 11-2 the lead for Jefferson. 7 in the first, 3 in the second, but have scored only 1 since then. Scoreless in the third. They added 1 in the fourth. Have failed to score in the 5th or 6th innings. For Carolina Forest, their 2 runs came in the first inning. They've been held scoreless through the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th by Taylor Tennant, who will go to work here in this bottom of the 6th inning, delivering ball 1 up and in. And
we've got a pinch hitter. It's David Weltons.
Or Wellens. Yeah.
Thank you.
So David Wellens stands in. Good size in that right-hand batter's box. Took ball 1. Now the count evens up at 1 ball and 1 strike.
Getting help from our local expert here.
Wellens swinging, grounds this one in the hole between first and second. That one's out into right field for a base hit. Nice job to go the other way.
Clean ground ball, single in the hole.
So Luke Janik, the due batter. He will make his way to the plate, and it looks like Nick Salmonese in the on-deck circle would bat for J.T. Rice. Janik had an RBI single back in the first inning, bounced into a 6-4 fielder's choice in the third. The right-hand batter checks the swing at a breaking pitch in the dirt. That's ball 1. So a little better than 90 pitches now thrown by Taylor Tennant. Remember, the max is 110, although you can throw a few more as you get to that point in a batter. You can finish out that batter. Janik swinging at the 1-0, sends a fly ball to right field. Mason Lance camps under it and makes the catch for out number 1.
Routine fly ball almost right at Lance.
1 away with that runner at first, and Nick Salmonese being called on. So Salmonese with the first opportunity at the plate, batting in the number 6 spot, replacing J.T. Rice, who went 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out. Salmonese, a right-hand batter. We'll see if any of these changes correlate to fielding changes or not. Here's a fastball that works up and away for ball 1.
Yeah, it's just a little bit outside. Tennant not missing that by much, I don't think.
Zach Rose going to play behind the runner at first base. And here's a bouncing ball over on that side of the infield, gloved by the second baseman Ollinger, ranging far to his left. He'll get it to Rose at first in time to retire Salmonese. The out will go 4-3, and Wellens will advance to second base on the ground ball out. He'll be there with 2 outs. Let's see who the batter will be. Another pinch hitter.
I couldn't see.
Jackson Weatherwax, I believe that's number 2. So an opportunity now for Weatherwax to swing the bat, and he swings and fouls it out of play down the first base line, and that will be strike 1.
Heard a parent in the stands yell, "Get aggressive," and he swung at the first pitch.
He did just that. Went right after it, but was a little bit late. Now he'll step back in with that runner in scoring position at second and 2 outs in the inning, and Tennant to the plate, and the fastball down the middle for a strike. Count now at 0-2. Tennant going to use his hand to push a little dirt back around that pitching rubber. Now has a brief conversation with our base umpire.
Yeah, I don't know what the umpire was griping about there.
Not sure, but Tennant ready to go back to work. And that 0-2 pitch overthrew that one, that fastball high for ball 1.
Yeah, he did.
He just put a little something extra on it. And he didn't need to. That extra rose it right up out of the strike zone. Now the 1-2 due.
Daly way over towards second behind Wellens. Wellens isn't going anywhere. Now he dances back.
And that 1-2 pitch in there for a called strike 3. Oh, very nice pitch. The strikeout looking the 10th of the ball game now for Tennant. He'll work around that leadoff single, and we will go to the 7th and final inning of regulation with Jefferson still in front of Carolina Forest 11-2.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%, Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1 by making you #1 first. Parsons.
Ron Hawker here. You have no idea what Johnny's goes through to bring you the best seafood around. We have snow crab clusters, shrimp, crab meat, fish, all the best seafood you want at Johnny's. It's a tough job out here, but our customers are worth it. Johnny's with 2 great locations, 1456 Winchester Avenue, Martinsburg, and Route 11 South in Chambersburg.
But not a 2.
Here we go to the 7th and final inning of regulation. Storyline through 6 for Jefferson. 11 runs on 10 hits. They've committed 1 error. They've left 6 on base and all 6 in scoring position. Carolina Forest, 2 runs on 4 hits. No errors. They've stranded 5, leaving 4 in a scoring position. Jefferson plated 7 in the first. A big 3-run home run from Colson Titus and a solo shot from Cullen Horowitz, a part of that inning. Added 3 more in the second, including a solo home run from Mason Lance. 1 run in the fourth for Jefferson. For Carolina Forest, they got 2 in the first inning, 1 scoring on a pass ball and 1 on an RBI single from Luke Janik. Now Chase Hughes back out there trying to finish this one out, facing Reagan Ollinger, the number 9 hitter in the order. No, that's not going to be him. Number 3, that's going to be Dalton Reed, who has been called on in a pinch hitting role, and he fouled away the first pitch.
Reed's had 5 at-bats down here with 1 hit.
So Dalton Reed stands in, takes this pitch down low and outside as they count to him. Going to even up at 1 ball and 1 strike. We saw Reed in a pinch hitting role back at home where he came in and got that big hit that Coach was looking for. Swings here and sends this one on a bounce past Rogers in the hole. It's short. It's out into left field for a hit.
That pitch was on the outside half of the plate and down low, and Reed just went down and yanked it into the hole, left side of the infield.
So Dalton Reed aboard with the pinch hit single, and we'll move back to the top of the order and Hayden Stang. Jefferson with the lead at 11-2. Anything that they could add would be a benefit, as Carolina Forest down to their final 3 outs, their final at bat in the bottom of the 7th. Stang swinging at the first pitch, bounces it slowly. First base side of the mound, it's fielded by Hughes. He'll go to second for 1, but the relay throw to first not in time, as Stang will reach on the fielder's choice.
Oh, that was a nice play by Hughes. I didn't think he had to play at second, but he didn't hesitate and got the runner by a step.
Yeah, good turn by Rogers out there at second base and made it a closer play than I expected at first, but Stang legged it out. He's aboard on the fielder's choice with 1 away now, and Taylor Tennant the batter. Tennant 3 for 3, 3 singles and a walk. Batting for a 5th time in this one, and he'll take on the outside corner for strike 1.
Nice breaking ball, down and away.
We've got Tennant at 100 pitches, which would mean he would have just about 10 to give in the bottom of the 7th inning. So we'll see if he comes out to start or if Coach John Lowery Sr. goes to the bullpen. 0-1 on the way. This one working down low and outside. 1-1 now to Tennant. He's got a couple of runs batted in today, and each time has given way to the courtesy runner Chase Anderson, who has come around to score 1 run.
Stang without much of a lead.
Being held on at first by Cassidy. Pitch to the plate, and it's a bouncer foul. That one right down off the front foot of Taylor Tennant. And he's feeling that one. He's staying down on the seat of his pants right now in that right-hand batter's box. Now going to get up and limp it off. Ouch. Counted a ball and 2 strikes.
I think that may have just secured whether he's coming out in the bottom of the 7th or not.
I don't know.
We've seen him have a tough couple of days. He got that line drive in the foot.
Yeah, back on Monday, right back at him, yeah.
And then he's got the cramp here, and now he fouls one off his foot.
Yeah, still walking it off. And a nice job by the catcher, J.T. Rice, to go out. Quick conference with Hughes on the mound, and that gives a little extra time for Tennant. He's going to hang in there, step back in with a count at a ball and 2 strikes. 1 out with a runner at first base. Jefferson out in front by an 11-2 score. Hey, don't forget tonight, Washington Capitals hockey. We've got it on the air. Pregame will begin at 6:45. They drop the puck at 7. The Caps a 2-1 lead, skating for Game 4 in Carolina against the Hurricanes.
Coach Lowery came down to talk to Tennant, and I think Tennant says, let me in, Coach.
So the 1-ball, 2-strike pitch now due as Tennant is back in, ready and waiting. The runner is lead at first. He stays. Pitch to the plate. Swing and a miss. That one dropped by the catcher, but first base occupied, so Tennant will head back over to the dugout. And that's strikeout number 4 for Hughes, who has really pitched well.
And that was a big sweeping breaking ball that the Tennant missed by about a foot.
So now, instead of Stevie Lee, we'll have a pinch hitter.
I didn't see the number, did you?
I did not, as he made his way to the batter's box. We'll see in a moment as the first pitch misses high for ball 1. Our umpire in the way. I can't quite see. 39. That's Dylan McCartney. So Dylan McCartney being called on as a pinch hitter here in the 7th. Pitch to him, and he sends this one on a flare into shallow right field, dropping quickly and in for a base hit. Rounding and heading for third, the base runner at first, and he'll make it. Hayden Stang with good speed in ahead of the relay throw. McCartney is at first with Stang at third. Runners at the corners with 2 away.
Stang did not he was off when the ball was hit, and he did not hesitate at all coming around second base.
That was going to make Janik make a good throw. He hit the cutoff man, but the throw through to third not in time. And now Colson Titus to the plate. He's had a 3-run home run, a double, and after that a fly out to center and a bounce out to short. So he's 2 for 4. With his 2 hits in his first 2 at-bats. The outs recorded each of the last 2 times up. The ground out to short came against Hughes. Runner on the move towards second, and the throw down, and it's off the glove of the second baseman out into center field, and that'll allow a run to score, and also will allow McCartney to get back to his feet and go to third base. So it'll be an error that will allow that run to score as Stang comes home from third to make it a 12-2 Jefferson lead.
And a double steal.
Yep, stolen base, and then the error that allows the runner to take third and the run to ultimately score. That runner was not going until that ball went off the glove of Hester and out into center field. Breaking pitch now to Titus. This one misses as the count evens up to him at 1 ball and 1 strike. So 12-2, Jefferson in front by 10. Carolina Forest down to their final 3 outs. They'll have the 8, 9, and 1 hitters due in the bottom of the 7th. Here's the pitch, and a bouncer foul, and that one got the front foot of Colson Titus.
And Carolina Forest did a version of the play that a lot of teams use. Usually it's a shortstop coming in and cutting across and throwing to him. But at this time, second baseman Hester essentially just came straight in towards home plate and threw. And if I don't know whether the runner on third was thinking about coming in then, but when the throw went, he did. Just didn't work.
That 1-2 fastball grounded in the hole between third and short. A diving attempt by Rogers, the shortstop, but beyond his reach. That one's out into left field, and that is a clutch 2-out RBI base hit for Colson Titus. It scores McCartney from third. 2 runs in the inning, and Jefferson pushes that lead out to 13-2.
Mr. Titus is having himself a day.
That he is. He could be our player of the game, but he may have to share it with Taylor Tennant, who's been equally as good both on the mound and at the plate. Those 2 guys working together. Catcher-pitcher, maybe they deserve to share it as Cullen Horowitz stands in and takes a fastball high for ball 1. So Titus aboard at first. 2 runs in the inning, 2 outs in the frame. Horowitz at the plate, had a solo home run, a single's been hit by a pitch and popped out to second. This fastball high off the glove of the catcher, and that one to the backstop allows Titus to take second.
Yeah, Titus was not running, but they're going to give you the base, you got to take it.
And another run in scoring position as Horowitz will await that 2-0 pitch. Corey Daly would be due next. Horowitz swings, pops it foul into the netting. Just above us to our right. Count now at 2 balls and 1 strike. Maggio, Davis, and then back to the top of the order, and Hester, the due batters in the bottom of the 7th inning for Carolina Forest.
I saw somebody throwing down in the bullpen, I think.
Today's schedule not holding true, as this pitch missing down and in makes it 3-1. I think we were already supposed to be well into the game after ours. About a 3:45 estimated start time for those late afternoon games. We're at 4:30 right now.
Yeah, got teams sitting in the whole team in the stands off here to our right.
3-1 pitch down low and outside. That's ball 4. Horowitz draws the base on balls. Puts runners at first and second and brings up Corey Daly. Now's the time for him to get his first hit of the tournament, right?
Well, it's either now or never. I don't think he's getting another at bat.
Just getting a text message from the tournament director as we get ready to go with a pitch to the plate, missing down low. Runner is on the move, and the throw down to third, and in time to get him as Colson Titus thrown out at third base. Well, that pitch had missed it to Daly, and a good throw down, and no doubt about it, Colson Titus caught stealing. The out goes 2-5. Brings the half inning to a close, but a couple of more runs do score for Jefferson. And as we go to the bottom of the 7th, last opportunity for Carolina Forest, now trailing 13-2.
The National Maritime Center primary mission is to credential all U.S. mariners. We have approximately 250 employees here in Martinsburg, West Virginia. Most people aren't aware of the quality of life here in Berkeley County. We have a lot of employees that are from the area. We obviously have folks that have to do tours here, and it's kind of a little bit of a hidden secret of how nice the quality of life is here.
It's the late nights. It's the early mornings. It's working in the sunshine and rain and snow. It's the dedication, the care, the hours of training that led to the winner's circle. It's our job, our passion, our lives. We are the horsemen.
Number 4 is Zach Pownell. I'm sorry.
Well, there you hear some of the defensive changes for Jefferson as Carolina Forest comes to the plate in the bottom half of inning number 7. Hey, back to the message that we just received through text. The weather forecast for tomorrow not looking good, and all Friday games here at the tournament are being canceled. Safe travels to everyone. The final words in that alert text from the tournament director. And so we will be headed back home tomorrow in the rain, as it's a pretty nasty forecast down here with winds in the 25-mile-an-hour range, gust up over 30, thunderstorms, pretty steady rain throughout the course of the day. And so not going to be a good day for baseball, that's for sure. So with that in mind, this will be our final broadcast from here in Myrtle Beach. The other teams supposed to be in action as we speak. That would be Martinsburg against Dixie, Hedgesville against University, and Spring Mills against Pendleton out of South Carolina. Those games being played as we wrap up our coverage here. All right, new pitcher. We've got Luke Payne on the hill taking over for Taylor Tennant. New catcher as well, Zach Pennell, is behind the plate. Peter Maggio, the one to get things started, swings at the first pitch, sends one into center field, ranging over, reaching up, and making the grab is Hayden Stang. Looks like Stang taking over out in center. Able to run that one down off the bat of Maggio for out number 1.
This is Payne's first appearance in the tournament. On the year, he's got thrown 12 1/3 innings. He has 2 wins, no losses. He's given up 11 hits in those 12 innings. 7 runs, all of them earned, walked 6, struck out 12, which is a 397 ERA.
Mike Foltz now being called on as a pinch hitter. He swings and got just a piece of the first one. It goes in and out of the mitt of Pownell, rolls up the first baseline in the count at 0-1. Great outing for Tennant to bounce back after a bit of a rough outing on Monday when he went through just the first inning, giving up the 2 runs on 4 hits in 6 innings as Payne delivers outside, count 1-1 now to Foltz. 10 strikeouts for Tennant, and he issued 3 base on balls. He'll stand to get the victory. In this one, it would be his 6th of the season. Here comes the pitch, and that one hit in the air into right field. Right fielder ranging over near the line into foul territory. Will not get to it. It will drop in. That is Lance, Mason Lance, who gave a good effort but could not get to it off the bat of Foltz. That foul ball will be strike 2.
He was running hard but had to go a long ways. And right-handed hitter, the ball was curving away from him.
Josh Hester in the on-deck circle, waiting for his turn after Mike Foltz, who will dig back in the right-hand batter's box in the 1-ball. 2-strike pitch due. Payne ready. Here it comes.
Oh, nice
breaking pitch in there for a called strike 3.
Just froze him. Just froze him.
Yeah, kind of had a smile on his face as he looks at his teammates and makes his way back over. He was definitely fooled by that pitch. Good movement, and that strikeout the first for Payne. 2 outs, and it will bring up Josh Hester. And Payne an out from closing out this one. Hester up for a second time, struck out his first time up. That was in the 5th inning. He came in to replace starting second baseman Nolan Edwards. First pitch down in the dirt, ball 1.
Payne's a big, stocky guy.
Ready with that 1-0 pitch. This one down low in the dirt, goes all the way through to the backstop, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Payne has seen some time on the mound as this season has gone along.
Yeah, and he's striking out a guy in innings. So it's an indication of half-decent stuff.
Here's that 2-ball, no strike pitch. In the dirt, bounces out in front of the plate, 3-0. After getting the first 2 batters on just 5 pitches, he's gone 3-0 now to Hester. See if Payne can battle back. 13-2, Jefferson with the lead. 1 out away from closing out a victory, their 16th on the season. Here's the pitch, misses down low, and that's ball 4. A 4-pitch walk with 2 outs in the inning.
You're up 11 with 2 outs in the last inning, so throw it down the middle.
It'll bring up Derek Rogers. Rogers making his 4th plate appearance. He has singled and scored, has bounced out to short. Last time up, drew a base on balls. So he is 1 for 2 officially.
They're not even holding Hester at first.
Pitch hit in the air, down the line in left, ranging over the left fielder. Long run, not going to get there. That's McCartney out in left. He's going to have to play it at the base of the fence, getting it into his cutoff man, but that'll be a double for Rogers, his 2nd hit of the day. And base runners are at 2nd and 3rd for Carolina Forest. A little 2-out rally for the Panthers.
They got a long way to go, though.
And it brings up Chase Hughes. Yeah, a long way, down 13-2, but you like the fight, right?
Yep.
Hester drawing the 4-pitch walk. Rogers jumping on the first pitch for a double. And now Chase Hughes to the plate. He has a double to his credit, 1 for 3, sandwiching that double between a pair of strikeouts. And here he pops it up. First pitch, it's on the right side of the infield. Rose coming in on it, and it's going to drop as a foul ball. Rose was unable to get to it, trying to reach out and make a basket catch. Apparently the wind kind of wreaking a little havoc with that one as that breeze has picked back up just a little bit. Rose never really had a beat on it as he came in to try to get to it.
Yeah, there was a gust just as that ball went up, and it looked like Rose saw it and was getting ready to settle under it and then had to run in because the wind took it.
So new life for Hughes. As the pitch to him bounces in front of the plate, goes through to the backstop. The runner broke towards the plate, and now the runner has to go back to second very quickly as both had started to move up. Hester started to come. Rogers thought he was coming, and he was practically to third base, and Rogers had to turn and sprint back to second. No chance, though, for Zach Pennell after picking that ball up at the backstop to try to throw behind the runner.
Hester fell down. He tripped and fell down, and that's why he didn't score.
So now that pitch, and it is in there for a strike, and the count moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes on Hughes. So Payne a pitch away from wrapping this one up and putting it in the win column for the Cougars. The 1 ball, 2 strike delivery. The runners, their leads at second and third. Here it comes, and it's hit in the air, high and deep into left field. Moving back on it is McCartney looking up, and it's gone! A 3-run home run just inside of the foul pole. And Chase Hughes on the 1-2 pitch delivers the big blow that Carolina Forest has been looking for. It'll draw him closer, but right now not enough, down at 13-5.
And a left fielder looked like he thought he had a play on that because he was running back, was at the fence as it went up, but he was tracking it all the way. And the kid hit the ball well, but I think the wind helped it a little bit.
Good grief, Matt, are we playing at Wrigley? The wind blowing out?
Wind playing a factor today for sure.
Hughes is their home run leader. We just got word, so he shows why as he cranks out a 3-run blast. And now it will bring to the plate number 22, David Wellens. Wellens taking strike 1. He had a single to right his first time up. That came back in the 6th inning. The 0-1 from Payne. That fastball missing away. Now 1 ball, 1 strike. So these two teams with kind of bookends to this game, each putting runs on the board in that first at-bat and doing it here in the last at-bat. Here's the 1-1, bounces out in front of the plate, 2 balls and a strike. Jefferson scored 7 in the top of the first. Carolina Forest answered with 2 in the bottom of the first. And here in the 7th, Jefferson put 2 on the board in that top half of the 7th. Carolina Forest has answered with 3 in the bottom of the inning. But right now Jefferson holds that 13-5 lead. Payne missing with this pitch down and in. And it's now 3 balls and a strike. Got the first 2 outs again on 5 pitches in this inning. And it's been a walk, a double, and a 3-run homer, and now a 3-1 count to Wellens.
And once again, the walk is the entryway to bad things.
And that 3-1 down low, and that's ball 4. That one in the dirt and outside as well.
And Payne has really struggled with finding the plate since the second hitter of this inning.
So Luke Janik standing in. Up for a 4th time. He had an RBI single way back in the first. Bounced into a 6-4 fielder's choice last time up, a fly out to center, and he swings through. Strike 1.
It was just a plain old, straight old fastball. Inner half of the plate, just above the belt.
Runner is on the move towards second, and the pitch to the plate missing for a ball. And Wellens gets a stolen base. The way the dugout reacts may be his first of the year. Count now at 1-1 to Janik.
Wellens does not look like he has a lot of speed, but they're not holding him because he doesn't matter.
Now the 1-1 on the way. This one a letter high fastball inside part of the plate now at 1 ball and 2 strikes.
All that matters here is the hitter. Another run scorer doesn't matter. You got to get the out.
Yeah, 13-5 lead, 2 outs in the inning. Just looking to get the final out and wrap this one up. And here comes that pitch, and it's a swing and a soft liner towards the shortstop. Daly has to play it on a bounce, and it takes a wicked hop over his head and out into left center field. Oh, boy. Wellens, who was at second, stops at third, and Janik is aboard at first on a bad bounce base hit.
Yeah, Daly guessed wrong on which way to go on that. It looked like it was going to take just a charity hop right up, and instead it hit something and went up and almost hit him in the face.
So now the batter, let's see. Is that Nick Selmanese? It might be. Yes. And it is. He came in and hit in the 6th inning, has been catching since, and he swings through strike 1. He went 0-4, or is 0-4-1. In that 6th inning, bounced out to the second baseman. Runners at the corners with 2 away. Payne steps off the pitching rubber. The runner goes back to first. Janik is being held on there by Rhodes. Here's the pitch. Hit on a soft line out towards the second baseman. And Ollinger able to get to it, ranging to his right. Reaches up and makes the backhand stab. And that will bring the game to a close.
Nice play to end the game on. because he had to run a little bit, and he's reaching up over his back with his left hand to grab the ball. Nice play.
So the ball game wraps up, and we will take a break before coming back to get into our postgame show, brought to you by The Final Score, with plenty of screens to watch the games, pool tables, trivia nights, and great food and drink selections. Meet your friends at The Final Score, 1517 Winchester Avenue, just south of Martinsburg. And your final score in this one, it is Jefferson with the victory over Carolina Forest, 13-5.
It's one of the toughest times you'll ever face when someone close to you passes away. It's a swirl of papers to sign and arrangements to be made, all while you're dealing with grief. At Brown Funeral Home, we encourage you to pre-plan. Pre-planning not only makes things easier for you, it protects you from rising costs. At Brown Funeral Home, our families are precious to us, and so are yours. Brown Funeral Home in Martinsburg, Inwood, and Charlestown, Ranson.
Life can get in the way these days. We all know that. Work commitments, social commitments, volunteer commitments, family commitments. You put your heart into all of it. You've got enough to worry about already. Your roof shouldn't be one of those things. Everything should just work. But when your roof is in need of an upgrade, you shouldn't have to worry about that either. Modern Renovations, your 4-state roofing solution. Reminding you that home is where the heart really is.
If you hang the WVU Medicine sign, certainly has helped take us to another level.
He literally saved my life. It's just mind-boggling to me that he was able to do what he did.
We're able to affect much more of a difference for our patients with these resources.
Having people treated locally enhances their overall care.
They treat you great, and they're down to earth in the West Virginia way that all West Virginians treat each other.
With 4 new car dealerships and 4 used car dealerships in 3 states, Parsons is the largest used car and fastest growing new car dealer in the tri-state area. Take Parsons Ford with huge savings on hundreds of new Fords, financing from 0%. Parsons' goal of financing for all, and Parsons' famous above-market trade-in allowances that help make Parsons #1 for used cars too. See why so many won't buy anywhere but Parsons Ford in Martinsburg. We became #1.
High school getting into our post-game show, brought to you by The Final Score at 1517 Winchester Avenue in Martinsburg. We get it started by recapping the scoring, and Gary, there is plenty of scoring to talk about. Jefferson played at 7 runs in that top of the first inning, did it on 4 hits, took advantage of 4 walks and a hit batter. The big blows in the inning: a Colson Titus 3-run home run. Cullen Horowitz followed with back-to-back homers, a solo shot from him, and an RBI single from Mason Lance, and a 2 RBI single from Taylor Tennant. And well, Jefferson was off to the races in that first inning.
Yeah, they were, and they almost put it out of reach in the first inning. I thought those back-to-back home runs, I thought I saw some shoulders drop for Carolina Forest, because they were really hitting the ball hard. Carolina Forest did come out, put a couple runs on, and it looked like that Jefferson may have let them up. But in the second inning, they came back with 3 more, and part of that was yet another home run, this one by Mason Lance. And after that, Tennant just slammed the door shut. Pitcher only gave up 2 hits, over the final 5 innings that he pitched, and with just the 1 walk over that time too. Pitched an outstanding game.
Yes, he did. Well, after the 7-run first inning for Jefferson, Carolina Forest plated a pair in the bottom of the first inning. One of those scored on a passed ball, the other on an RBI hit from Luke Janik. But Jefferson would add 3 to the lead in the top of the second. As Gary mentioned, part of that, the big home run from Mason Lance. It was 10-2 until the top of the 4th inning, when Jefferson made it 11-2 with an RBI single from Zach Rose. That scored Corey Daly, who had walked, and it stayed that way until the top of the 7th inning, when Jefferson plated 2 more runs on 3 hits and 1 walk. One of the runs scoring on an error, the other on an RBI single from Colson Titus, who had 4 runs batted in on the game. Jefferson had that 13-2 lead going into the bottom of the 7th inning, but in that bottom of the 7th, with 2 outs, there was a walk, to Josh Hester, a double for Derek Rogers, and then a 3-run home run for Chase Hughes. Finally, Luke Payne able to close it out after giving up another walk and a single. Gets the line out to end the game, and Jefferson gets their 16th win of the year. The final 13-5. Well, we need to take a timeout, and then we come back to wrap up our postgame and our coverage from here at the Mingo Bay Classic. We'll run the numbers from this one and tell you about our next broadcast. It's West Virginia High School Baseball on Talk Radio WRNR and TV 10.
Welcome to La Bella Vita, named for my Grandma Vita. Our mountaintop getaway honors her legacy while complementing the home's spectacular views. This recently renovated property boasts a breathtaking landscape of Deep Creek Lake while providing great open interior spaces for a sensational vacation. You'll immediately notice the great room allows for entertaining, dining, and relaxing after long days on the lake or skiing on the slopes of Wisp. Your family and friends will enjoy relaxing in all the open spaces. The home features 6 bedrooms, including 4 that are private suites. And each of the 4 levels of this home feature amazing visibility as far as the eye can see. Like our family, we hope you enjoy making memories here on the mountain. We love sharing the spacious, warm, and inviting home that overlooks the lake. Cheers to the beautiful life, La Bella Vita.
Back one final time here at Carolina Forest High School. Time for us to look at the statistics from this one, brought to you by Dynamark Atlantic Security, who remind you, don't become a statistic. Protect your family and home with the local alarm professionals at Dynamark Atlantic Security. They have the solutions to meet your needs and local monitoring, too. To learn more, call Ben Copenhaver at 304-671-2158. Pitching totals for Kyle Wendland, the starter for Carolina Forest, lasted just a third of an inning, gave up 7 runs on 3 hits, no strikeouts, walked 3 and hit 1. Blake Cox in 3 2/3 innings of relief, allowed 4 runs on 6 hits. He struck out 3, but also walked 2 and hit 2. Chase Hughes, 3 solid innings in relief, gave up just 2 runs on 4 hits. He would strike out 4 and walk 1. Taylor Tennant in the start for Jefferson gets the victory. 6 innings, 2 runs on 4 hits. He struck out 10, walked 3. Gary, we had him right at 100 pitches, 63 for strikes.
Yeah, we did. And he was just outstanding after the first inning. Kept people off the bases, struck people out, shut them down, didn't let them get back in the game. I was really impressed by how he threw. And looking at the numbers coming into the tournament, that's the sort of game we expected on Monday night from him.
Luke Payne came in to close it out, did give up 3 runs on 3 hits in his inning of relief. No strikeouts and 2 base on balls. Looking at some of the offensive numbers, a great game for Derek Rogers for Carolina Forest, as he had a single, a double, went 2 for 3, also walked and scored a couple of runs. And Chase Hughes, he went 2 for 4 with a double and that big 3-run home run. David Wellens had a base hit and reached on a walk as well. Luke Janik had a couple of hits as he went 2 for 4. He drove home a run. Meanwhile, for Jefferson, they pounded out 13 hits, a lot of hitting up and down the order. Taylor Tennant, though, went 3 for 4, a walk, 3 singles, 2 runs batted in. He gave way to Chase Anderson. The courtesy runner came around to score a run. Stevie Lee drew a walk and scored. Dylan McCartney had a single and a run scored out of that number 3 spot in the order. And how about Colson Titus? A 3-run home run, a double, and an RBI single. So he will go 3 for 5 with 4 runs batted in and 2 runs scored.
Yeah, and I have every starter for Jefferson getting on base somehow, either a walk or a hit. People get on base, they're going to score.
Yeah, all but the number 9 spot in the order came around to score, even though everyone reached. That's the only spot that did not end up eventually crossing the plate. And we got to talk about Cullen Horowitz. He was hit by a pitch and walked, so officially only had 3 at-bats, and he went 2 for 3 with a home run, a single, and a couple of runs scored. And we got to talk about Mason Lance, who went 2 for 4, had an RBI single and a solo home run, 2 runs scored, and 2 runs batted in. Final totals look like this for for Jefferson. 13 runs on 13 hits, 1 error, 7 left, 6 in scoring position. Carolina Forest, 5 runs on 7 hits, 1 error. They left 7, 5 in scoring position. Tennant now 6-2 with the win. Wendland takes the loss. Time of the game, 2 hours and 35 minutes. Jefferson improving to 16-5. Carolina Forest falling to 10-14. The numbers brought to you by Dynamark Atlantic Security, who remind you, don't be a statistic. They have the solutions to meet your security needs and local monitoring too. Call Ben Copenaver at 304-671-2158 to learn more. A little wrap up our coverage from here in Myrtle Beach. Again, all 3 of those games going on. Washington don't have the final, but did get the win over Altmer Parish, and of course Jefferson, as you heard right here, getting the win over Carolina Forest. So that sets up our next broadcast, and Matt Crawford, we bring you in for just a split second to talk about that, as we'll be on the air back at home next Tuesday, and we'll have Musselman at Jefferson. It'll be good to see the Applemen back in action. They have gone 2-0 so far on their spring break, even though they did not come here to the beach. They scored a win over Brighton, New York, and then a win at South Charleston yesterday. They're taking on Berkeley Springs today.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing them back in action. Saw everybody but them this week. So again, they were back in the Mountain State and the panhandle of the state of Maryland, if you will. But I'm interested to see what they look like after a week of everybody else away and then playing around the state. And interested to see what everybody looks like when they get back to West Virginia. I don't think anybody necessarily played the 4 games they wanted to down here. I know some teams may get that 5th game in later tonight, but I'm not sure anybody played start to finish the way they wanted to come down here and play, so we'll see what the last 2 weeks look like before sectional play when everybody gets back home in a regular routine.
There you go. That broadcast next Tuesday, a 6 p.m. first pitch down at Shenandoah Junction. Our pregame at 5:40 as Jefferson host Musselman. Well, Gary, been a lot of fun.
It has been a lot of fun, and my thanks to the 2 of you for letting me come down here, hang around with you, watch some baseball games with you, talk about some baseball, and talk on the air. I had a blast, just like I have every year I've been down here with you, Matt. And young Matt Crawford was a nice addition.
Well, there you go. It
Thanks
was
again.
Good to have you here, and just a great time following our teams through this Mingo Bay Classic, and now a chance for us to hit the beach for a few minutes and then relax and watch the Capitals and the Hurricanes, as we'll have that one coming on the air for you back at home. 6:45 will be the pregame tonight. They'll drop the puck at 7. Thanks to each of our sponsors supporting our coverage of high school baseball. Thank you for joining us at each of our broadcast and telecast entities. Special thanks to both head coaches providing information, interviews, and lineups for today's game. And thanks to all the staff and folks here at Carolina Forest High School for their hospitality, having us here throughout the course of the week. For Gary Gefford and Matt Crawford, for Caleb Valero back at the studio, I'm Matt Miller reminding you our final score. It is Jefferson 13, Carolina Forest 5. Until Tuesday, so long, everyone.
You've been listening to West Virginia High School Baseball. Today's game broadcast has been brought to you by
Miller Honda, Cox Holiday Professionals CPAs, Brown Funeral Homes, Miller's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, The Marius Group and Ameriprise Financial, WVU Medicine Berkeley and Jefferson Medical Centers, Parsons Ford, Bechtel Jewelers, WH Miller Systems, D&N Auto, The Mortgage Center, the Hagerstown Suns, Haas's Steak and Sea, Bears Repair, The Final Score, and Atlantic Security.
For the continued excitement of high school, college, and Major League Baseball, keep it tuned to FM 106.5, AM 740, Comcast Cable Channel 10, and online talk radio WRNR.com. All rights reserved.